So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, to the monthly final for April. Can you believe it's the end of 4 months of racing of 2025 on the Sunday Race Club? When we get to the end of today's races, the women's race coming up first, followed by the men's race. Our riders have done 2 qualifiers to get into their finals. I've been here right the way through. Emma Martin is with me in the studio. Once again, Emma, you haven't managed your 2 qualifiers, but you've managed to get a pass through to get into our finals to be here today.
I have exceptional circumstances, and hence I am here for the finale for April. And I tell you something, I cannot wait. We have seen huge numbers in the women's race field throughout April. In fact, the biggest numbers ever on the Sunday Race Club. And I tell you something, that women's race field will shortly be over 200 riders on the start sheets each week. But first, they are heading to Arabia, to the Jebel Yais for the April final today. 34.3 kilometres of racing. Yes, this is a race course they have never raced before. They've raced different distances on this course, but not this one. 633 metres of climbing today. They come through 3 sprints, the rolling lands to start with, before they go into that short, steep Liwa Desert climb at the 23.4 kilometre marker. 900 metres of climbing, 4.9% average gradient. Then it's a flat run, and I mean pan flat, to the base of the Jebel Yais. 7.5 kilometres of that climb the women do today. You can see there's some very small steps along the way. An average gradient of 5.5%. When they get to the polka dot banner at the top, they've got a 500-metre run to the finish line.
So 3 competitions individually today. We've got those sprint competitions, points added up throughout each of those segments to give us our overall winner. We have the climbs competition, 2 segments, the Liwa Desert Climb and the Jebel Yais, as Emma has mentioned. The points from there added together to give us the winner overall in the climbs competition. Points competition, the green skin suit is the garments awarded to the winner and the leader of the sprints. Polka dots, white with the red dots for the climbs. And of course, when we get to the finish, we have the yellow skin suit of race winner, but we'll only see that when they come in and across the line. But because it is our finals, we have our team competition as well. 5 riders maximum per team. 3 riders to count, teams in all of our race categories, and 36 teams on our women's race fields. In terms of Category 6, there are 6 teams in there, and these are the teams that can count. Emma's telling me it is 50, but I know that she's wrong with that one at the moment. It's the bad maths from Emma. I'm making the most of it whilst it happens. Right. Okay, so we have the Cycle Chicks outcasts. We've got Fiedler, Sudibeo, Quap, and Bremner. Intercontinental Racing team. They are going to be Flores, Driscoll, Hadjuk, and Arias. Don't discount Kitty Hawk Racing. 5 riders on their team: Hamilton, Jeskalainen, Smithson, Holtman, and Tangilon. We've also got the Cycling Warriors squad: Johnson, Limbago, Samuel, and Kirchner. Level Phoenix, another of our 5-rider squads: Botero, Lodano, Stico, Scriven, and Hooker. And, of course, the Tour de France, one of the best team names ever. They're racing in Category 6 as they lead the pens. Barco, Solorzano, Agadello, Navarez, and Sarasu will be representing that Tour de France team. Will they still be friends at the end of the racing? 36 qualifying teams in total, 6 teams here, and Ange Quap doing what Ange Quap does.
She does, which is
coming out of the start. Rocket pace.
She's got speedy legs out of that start pen, has Quap.
She certainly has. Emma, just quick question for you. 36 qualifying. There's 37 teams, I think, in total. 36 who can qualify. I think that we've consistently getting those kind of numbers in the women's squad. They're very, very good at getting teams together, aren't they, in the women's race field? And more so than the men, to give a comparison.
Oh, well, I know a little secret. There's a real good level of I'm not saying there's not a good level of coordination in the men, but there is an enhanced,
in comparison.
There is an enhanced level of coordination around the teams in the women's category. I believe there's some form of spreadsheet.
Okay. Why am I not surprised that you know about the spreadsheets?
Organised and run by the riders themselves.
Very good. Well, and that is what we want to see. Great competition, but also working together to give us the great racing. Now, that team competition, there are 7 prizes in terms of teams in each of our race categories, 6 race categories, 6 being standard, 1 being the very top of our elite tree. As you can see, we just got Adriana Barker on our screens, and one of those riders in that Tour de France squad, which has some really strong riders.
It does actually, and Adriana Barco, one of those riders. But the Tour de France, the team competition in Category 6 is going to be really interesting today. Tour de France, I think, are really in with a shot. Agudelo's had a 4th. Sarasuk's had a 4th. Narvaez has had a 5th. Solazano and Barco both always riding really strongly as well. They could be a well-packed squad. The competition, I think, today, and I'm going to be a little controversial because Kitty Hawk Racing took the win last month.
Right.
And Jessica Hamilton, part and parcel of that Kitty Hawk Racing squad, is so dominant in the sprints in this category. That is her absolute target. And week in, week out, she takes that sprint competition overall. But for me, the Cycle Chicks outcasts have, well, they are the team on form today. According to Performances this month, and Amy Sidibayo, one of those riders, she's had a 1st place and a 3rd place on the Sunday Race Club in the qualification races. So this is a rider that we are seeing on the screens who is on form, and I think could go really, really well today. Ange Quapp, one of her teammates, we saw her go out hard at the start. She's had a 3rd. Bridget Bremner has had a 3rd as well. She's part and parcel of that same squad, and so is Alicia Fielder. It's a 4-rider squad, but they are 4 strong riders. And let's not forget, it's the 3rd rider over the line that counts because it's the top 3 riders in your team whose time is added together.
And therefore, making sure that you have riders packed up as far up that top 10 as possible in terms of individually is a great way to help get that time down. If you've got a lone leader off the front and putting in a big power in there, it's getting a big time gap that's going to make a difference. You can't just do what we saw in the Flesh Wallone. Earlier in the week in the women's Flesh Wallone, we saw a last minute sprint up the climb by Put Peterson to take victory there, but she left it to the last 150 meters, but the time gap wasn't huge. And congratulations to Elisa Longo Borghini taking a 3rd place for the UAE ADQ team.
I know, but I'm sorry.
That was brilliant to
see. Is probably my favourite female rider at the moment.
I think she's an exciting rider, but that was the first time she's had 9 top 10 positions so far in the Spring Classics, and that was her first win. Elisa Longo Borghini and the UAE ADQ team, they have been on form, and Borghini, obviously a fantastic sprinter, doing what Jessica Hamilton does normally, sprinting to a win, but a 3rd place.
Green jersey, Jessica Hamilton.
So, Category 6 through our first sprint and out of the way, and heading away from that start as we go into our next category up. It is Category 5 now. Our teams here, 6 teams in this race field as well. 1 team of 5, that's the Phoenix squad with Freya, Gentili, Kirchner, Lloyd and Ferran. All the rest of the squads have 4 riders. So Black Panthers have Valencia, Montoya, Wilhelm, and Mongeli racing for them. The Crank Queens, Al Mansouri, Madeira, Joy Mayer, and Al Rai. The Velocity of Vipers is Hoyos, Sonderson, Marshall, and Francis. What Women, Vink, Bago, Idzik, and Aitken. And the Wheels of Fire squad heading out from that start. Zulago, Geraldo, and Kekkonen in that race field. Very strong, very well matched squads when you look at it initially, Emma, and with 5 squads of 4, 1 squad of 5, fairly equal in terms of rider numbers.
Well, I can tell you, for me, this is one of the most open races today, and the reason I say that is because there are only 6 out of the 13 riders who finished in April in the top 5 in Category 5 left in the category. The others have been upgraded to Category 4.
Blimey.
So this is, for me, this is a massively open race, and it's a massively open team competition. So the Black Panthers took the win last month from the Wheels of Fire. Both of those 2 squads are still here, but their composition is slightly different in terms of riders. Now, Montoya has been really strong in the sprints this month. So has Idzik. Montoya part and parcel of that Black Panthers squad. Idzik part of the What Women. But the Black Panthers, Wilhelm's had a third, Mongeli's had a fifth. I think they're going to be in the mix. But I think Phoenix are looking really strong because Friars has had a first place. Ferron has had a second. Nikki Lloyd is in there. Jacqueline Kirchner is in there and Claudio Gentili is in there. Those are really strong riders. The Velocity Vipers are strong with Hoya, Sonnerson, Marshall, and Francis. Sonnerson's taken a win and Marshall's had 2 fourths. And Al Rai, who is on our screen at the moment, part and parcel of the Crank Queens. Al Mansouri, Madeira, Mare, and Al Rai. Another strong squad.
And Seba Al Rai's moved up. She moved up from Category 6 to Category 5 by being absolutely on fire and really, really putting some fantastic performances. Great to see that she's up here and straight out there, straight into a team and racing. And of course, 6 teams, 7 prizes, as long as they get those 3 riders into the finish. And you've got to get 3 riders over the line. You'll be in with a chance of those team prizes. Remember, each and every one of the riders on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club is verified. Same verification process going throughout from top to bottom, from our very first rider in Category 1 to our very last rider in Category 6. It's a huge race field today.
Can I just
in terms
say,
of a final, but you said it had been the record number of riders this month.
Yes.
That is fantastic to see, but it's no good if you don't have quality. You can have all the, if you fill a race field full of me, you're going to have a pretty poor race. But if you fill the race field full of class riders, you're going to have a great race.
Can I just say,
and all the way through, there's some absolute class riders in this race field.
There is class riders in this, but I'm just going to go back to that comment you just made. There is a race category for everybody, including you, Matt Payne. And you never know, if somebody wants to donate to charity, I'm sure I can get Matt Payne on a bike on the Sunday Race Club and we can have a guest rider in the studio to join me. We could do a swap. Luke Allport for you.
Maybe...
Only for charity. Right.
Yes. There you go. That might be a challenge. Somebody else can put that together.
Can I just talk about some numbers? Because I said
Yes.
April's been the record month for women, and it has. Back in January, we had an average of 144 starters on the start sheets in the women's race. 156 was the average in February. 167 was the average in March. And 174 has been the average number of women on the start sheets in April. You can see the progression month on month. The largest race field so far, qualifier 2 in April, we had 183 women on the start sheets that day. I think we are progressing to getting over 200 women on the start sheets every Sunday on the Sunday Race Club. And I'll tell you something, that will then mean fabulous. And it's not fabulous. I'm getting my words wrong. Come back to me in a minute.
Tell you what, let's deal with Category 4 Well, not very quickly. I'm very quickly going to just say well to Natalia Idzik, who shot through the sprint line there. She's taken 5 sprint jerseys overall previously, so good result for her to take the first sprint there in Category 5. In Category 4, our next set of riders go. Guess what? 6 teams in this as well. So 6 teams in Category 6, 5, and 4. In Category 4, the Full Force squad are one of 5 teams with 4 riders. Only one team having 5 riders represented. So as Category 4 leaves the start, I'm hoping that erupting like Team Volcano are going to do later on. Sorry, I know it's terrible link. 5 riders from them, Roa, Arias, Zabala, Becker, and Latriglia are going to all be racing for Team Volcano. All the rest of the teams have 4 riders, so Full Force with Hyde, Ellis, Goodall, and Simpkin. The Pedal Queens with DeGrazia, Warren, Coe, and Howeiler. We've got the Power of Red in those red jerseys, Alzate Lopez, Kaweska, as well as Ciciola. We've got the Speed Busters, Pekka Kova, Krasova, Hermalson, and Stemman. And the Rhino squad, again with 4 riders, Van Rossum, Hamilton, Gino, and Herrero. 2 riders not in teams and get to play that solo race ride. Salam Al-Kabi from the UAE and Poland's Aniska Majeska. They can do whatever they want. they don't have to follow any team orders. They literally can look after themselves.
Well, and why not? Well, this team competition is going to be good. I think the big question is, can anybody beat the full force squad? Because boy, are they full force. Elos has had a third and a fifth. Goodall has had a third, a fourth, and a fifth. And Simpkin has had a second and a fourth. Claudia Hyde is also a strong rider in there as well, for the fourth rider in that team. It is a team to watch, but I'm going to say but out loud, because the power of red could run them close. Alzat's had a fifth, Kawazuska's had a first, and Sisiolka's had a fourth. Those are three riders in that squad who have also podiumed this month, and Lopez is in there as well. Pekka Kova's team looks strong. Randy Gino's team, the Rhinos, look strong. Van Rossum took the climbing competition last week, and she's a good, strong climber. It's a big, big climb at the end of this course today. She could go really well. Hamilton is in there, and so is Rosa Herrera, who is getting stronger and stronger week by week.
And I think, I mean, we literally could mention all of it, because I was looking at the Pedal Queen squad when you've got Howeiler, Warren, and De Grazia, and again, all really, really strong riders. All riders that we know can be absolutely on, top form. Any one of those could take that win. That wouldn't be an issue at all. But I suspect, for me, what we're going to see is today different tactics, because it's that team competition, and I think that De Grazia might have taken 16 sprint jerseys overall, but today it's about positioning yourself up at the top in terms of that team competition.
And that positioning, absolutely crucial. So last month on the March final, Category 4 women and Category 3 women had the closest time gaps in that team competition. 40 seconds separated Team 1 from Team 2. Now, we're looking at Van Rossum, Gino, and Herrera, part and parcel of the Rhinos. The Rhinos were the squad who took the win last month, 40 seconds ahead of the Power of Red. I think this is going to be a really close competition as well today, and it's great to see those riders on the screen already. Look at the concentration on those faces.
Not wanting to lose the wheel, so dangerous to do so. One of the things I've got to say, I mean, we're looking at the three riders, and we've got the Netherlands flag, the United States of America's flag, and the Spanish flag on there. I love the different nations coming together and racing and riding together on the race field.
Can I just say, anybody who noticed there, Gina Van Rossum was wearing gloves on the turbo trainer. I have to say, I do that on occasion, particularly when I want a lot of fans on me and it's going to be a really hard race, because across my knuckles, my hands get cold. I wonder whether the reason she's doing that is the same, or whether, well, I'm going to ask Gina afterwards why she had some gloves on indoors.
I would wear them for the grip if you're going to be involved in the sprints, like Hannah Pekakova has just taken. They're in Category 4. Now, we've seen her do this repeatedly, and she's been right up there in that sprint competition in Category 4. Now, moving on to Category 3, next step up the ladder. 7 teams this time rather than 6. We have got 3 teams of 5, 4 teams of 4 here today. So our teams with 5 riders in: the April Flowers with Samuel Davidson, Bergin, Kong, and Briggs. The Freewheeling Spirits with Bulawara, Daniels, Linen, Johnson, and DeSegna. And the last team with 5 riders in, the Yellow Squad with Nielsen, Montgomery, Dijkstra, Beltran, and Vasquez. So the teams of 5 leave the start. They're also leaving the start the teams of 4. The Grind My Gear squad with De Silva, Hadlock, Atahualpa, and Piccolo. The Gruppetta, which is Salgado, McKay, Montoya, and Barragon. Profita rolled in with Esler, Hakkinen, Daniel, and Miller. And the Wanderers squad with Alta Marino, Shanks, Walkenhurst, and Bonilla. One team that doesn't have enough riders to contest the team competition is Team Golden Light. Today, captained by Golden Light, but they won't be fighting for the team prizes. So 7 teams, 7 prizes. Which order will it be in? Emma, any clues from past performances?
Well, I can tell you, last month, this was another team. Well, the Category 3 race was 40 seconds the difference between the yellow squad, Nielsen, Montgomery, Dijkstra, Beltran, and Vasquez. Dijkstra's had a third, Beltran's had a fifth this month, so they're on form. But that was last month from Fitter Rolling. Hackenen's had a third and a fourth. Jenny Daniel from that squad's had a first place. Miller and Essler joined them. For me, though, the team of this month could well be the Wanderers. Alta Marino's had a fourth. Walkenhurst has had a second and a fifth. And Benilla has had a fourth. They are a strong, strong squad, and I think they're going to be in the mix. Talking about in the mix, there's a lot of climbing today. Rebecca Johnson is part and parcel of the freewheeling spirits. Lennon's had a third and a fifth. And taken the climbing competition overall once this month as well. And in the April Flowers, Dana Davidson has had a phenomenal month with 2 second places. Holly Bergin of that squad took the sprint competition earlier this month. Kong, Briggs and Samuel are in there as well. This is about packing your riders today and what the time gaps are.
It is, and I think that's going to be really, really telling today. Interesting. You've got Alta Marino here and Benilla and Shanks, all from the Wanderers team here. 3 teammates on our screens in person. They are, of course, joined by Julia Walker, who's a very experienced rider as well, and every single rider counts, even if you're not in the front 3, because you never know what will happen when you've got a big climb at the end of the day like we have today, because the racing going is going to be tough.
And Walkenhurst, their other team member, goes really well on a long climb.
So whether you're rider 1, 2, 3 or 4 in a 4-rider squad, every one of you really needs to work, because you've only got one get out of jail card. If something goes wrong for one rider, you're down to your 3. There's no just coasting in at all. And that's one of the great things, isn't it, about our finals?
And things do go wrong. I mean, there can be technical issues in terms of your internet and those types of things, but there can also be, as in every other bike race, you can blow a tyre.
You could. I was thinking more that your legs would fall off.
Well, your legs could fall off, but I was talking more technical issues rather than rider issues.
Oh, I think rider issues.
Dropping a bottle at a crucial point. I've done that so many times.
Well, I nearly did that out on a ride this week. Actually, I nearly, literally, it bounced off the bottle cage and I caught it mid-ride. And I'm blaming it on the fact that I'd washed it up not long before and probably hadn't rinsed off enough of the washing up liquid and it was slippery. There you go. We are going into our sprint. We're heading into this first sprint.
Pushing on early.
She is. She's pushing on really early. Now, is this just to get a little bit of sliding room? Did she think that the rest of the bunch were going to come? Because I tell you something, they are coming from behind. Bergen is leading the chase here through into the start of this. But anybody up near the front now is going to be, I think, in trouble in terms of sprint prizes.
So my read of this, Salgado is part and parcel of La Gruppetta, which contains Catherine Montoya, who is dominant in the sprints. You put a teammate down the road, it gives you the draft as you run into the back of them, and it enhances the sprint competition. Take a look at that. Teamwork in play during the sprint.
Good spot there. Very good spot. Love it. So, riders using the attack, putting in that early attack into the sprint to stretch the group out, to trigger draft opportunities for the sprinter in the team to use coming from the back to the front. Super smart tactics. Never underestimate our riders in any way, shape and form. So 4 race categories, up and racing. We have 5-minute gaps between all of the teams on your screen. So 5 minutes between categories 6 and 5, 5 and 4, 4 and 3 on those start times. It's a 10-minute gap between category 3 and category 2. And then we've got 5 minutes between category 2 and our final category, our elite category, category 1 riders. So 2/3 of the race fields already out en route, with category 6 the furthest down the road at 11.5 kilometres. Category 3 currently having covered 3.1 kilometres. Most of these looking to be in big groups. 1 or 2 riders being dropped, but nothing substantial as of yet. And one of the things about this course for me, Emma, is it looks flat, but in part that is because the climb at the end, because it's 415 meters of ascent just in the climb segment itself, never mind the fact it keeps climbing actually beyond the between the end of the climb and the finish line, which are 2 separate places by 500 meters. But because most of this climbing is at the end in that one climb, the scale of the hills in between is reduced when you look at it on the course profile, but they're not that much reduced when you go
Well,
riding over them. I mean, as we
no,
run into Bahrain Sprint and that area in round sprint number 2, it's bumpy as anything.
it is, but I would call them rises. So, for those of you who are really interested in the course, there is 455 metres of climb over the 2 categorised climbs today, the Liwa Desert Climb and the Jebel Yais. There's 633 metres on the course overall, which means there's 178 metres of climbing on the rest of the route. The rest of the route is 25.5 kilometres long outside of those 2 major climbs, which gives you an indication. There's a lot of rolling sections. On the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can see one of those rises. Now, these rises take a small kick. You lift your cadence, you push on, and you may well see some attacks. And I think what we'll see, and it's what we have been seeing already, is riders getting distance off the back of the group rather than the riders going away from the front of the group until we get into the latter part of this course.
Now, I'm just going to do a little bit of updating because our riders are so far down the course at the moment. The second sprint of the day, which we haven't seen much of, which is the Bahrain sprint, is at 6.3 to 6.5 kilometers. Now, in the Bahrain sprint, Hannah Pekakova in category 4 is through there, taking the win in category 4. Natalia Idzik taking the win in category 5. Both riders who were strong in sprints number 1, Pekakova taking the win there. In category 6, Jessica Hamilton going through and nailing that. So it's looking very much like the on-form favourites are taking those positions. And you can see Hannah Pekakova
Just
with the maximum points.
brow.
Mopping her... yeah, that's a very delicate way of saying generating some serious heat in those sprints, I am sure. And at the moment on this rise, now you say these are rises. It's a 4% plus gradient on here at places. For me, this isn't just right. I mean, look at the ascent as you go past the buildings here. You can see the effort that Pekakova is putting in here. And she's an absolute class rider.
Yeah,
if Pekakova is working hard, this isn't just a rise. This is a climb.
Well, yes, but it's not 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15%. And I tell you something.
6%?
But I would out on those big climbs when they really are very, very steep. When you get back to 5 or 6%, it feels like relief. These are short, punchy climbs. These are Pekakova's not up and out the saddle. She's climbing in the saddle. But look at the concentration. Look at the power and the push on those pedals from Pekakova at the moment to stay at the front of this group. Rosa Herrera is on the front. Kalwazuska is there as well. Ko is in the mix, and Stenman. These are strong riders. They're putting out close to 5 watts per kilo up this rise, and they're nearly at the top. And exactly what we said was going to happen is happening here. We've got 1 or 2 riders in danger on the back of that group. No one going away on the front. And you can see that very, very clearly there with the shot of the back of the group. The 3 riders just slightly off the back will push and get back on. But I think that's one rider's day over with in staying with the leading group.
But not over with in terms of pushing on, because of course that team time will count, and
it's Majewska.
There are time differences between the riders in every category, at every place, in every position, and it all adds up. And remember, of course, there's prize differences between being 7th and 6th on the way through in those team competitions. Let's take a look at the teams in category 2 as we get ready to set off with our category 2 riders. 6 teams in category 2, 4 teams of 5 and 2 teams of 4. Let's run through the category 5. The 5 rider teams in category 2 first of all. The core squad: Dorothy Gonzalez-Ruhr, along with Joanna Kalman, Carolina Kokolowicz, Matilda Tilly-Field, Sophie Giovanni. We've got the Globetrotter squad. They've got 5. That's Paulson, Prado, Van Shore, Jaramillo, and Vittori. We've got the Racing Rockets, who have 5 riders as well: Schneider, Simmons, Mob, Thompson, and Roach. And the Velo Valkyries, they've got 5 riders: Liston, Nyquist, Trudin, Caramani, and Shepherd. In amongst this bunch, leaving the race start in category 2, are teams of 4 riders. The Cycling District squad have Caramelo, Banerjee, Guerrea, and Sanchez. And the Pure Bed Daisies, Kittle, Van der Vliet, Eck, and Kuma. Now, number of riders not in qualifying teams. Velocity Vikings, I think, have only got 2 riders in here today: Anna Embring and Jennifer Gothlander. They should surely have snapped up Madonna Degamashandi, who's not in a team, but that would have given them a 3rd team member.
Well, can I just say, this category 2 race today is I thought one of the earlier categories, I said, oh, this is wide open because so many people have moved up. Category 2 is wide open because of the strength and depth of this race field. Hayley Simmons right on the front here with Pia Kuma. Kuma's had a first place this month as part and parcel of the Purebred Daisies. And in fact, 3 of the Purebred Daisies have had top 5 positions this month. X had 2 fifths, Kuma's had a first, and Kiddle's had a fourth. But the story of category 2 is that 13 of those riders in this field today have had top 5 positions this month. Only 2 riders have been in the top 5 twice throughout the whole of April. That is Eck and Field. They are the only riders to replicate a top 5 position, which tells me the strength and depth of this race field is phenomenal. And it's going to be an amazing competition, not just in the individual competition, but in the team competition. Let me run you through this. So last month, it was the Velo Valkyrie who took the win. Lytton, Nyquist, Tridden, Karamani and Shepherd. Well, Tridden's had a fourth and Karamani's had a third this month. The core squad were the team in second. Gonzalez Ruiz had 2 sprint wins. Kalman's had a first place. Fields had a second and a fourth. Giovanni's had a second and taken one of the climbing competitions. Prado is on the screen at the moment. She's taken a third place in the Globetrotter squad. Van Shaw has taken a first and Vittori's had a fifth. They are really, really strong. They're rounded out with Paulson and Yaramillo. The Purebred Daisies, we've talked about those. The Racing Rockets, Sarah Roach has had a third place. They've got Thompson Marbs, Simmons, who is new to the Sunday Race Club this month, unproven. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens when she gets into that team competition, because I think the team competition just gives you something a little bit more, and I'm really excited to see what that little bit more is today.
Hayley Simmons has been riding, but not been notable by her success, and that's unusual. Hayley Simmons. Hayley Simmons, a rider I have watched race. I've commentated on before. In fact, I remember being part in the car park in Stockton on Tees for the
national.
That's
a salubrious place.
Oh, it is indeed. It is indeed. Also home to the Ryanair of solicitors that I once had to use for a house sale, it has to be said. But it is an absolutely great venue for national championships. And it was the National Road Race and Time Trial Championships. And I was commentating on the Time Trial Championships, her speciality. Oh my goodness, is she a force to be reckoned with? If there and
well, this course could suit her today.
I think because the climb is relatively long, and I think because you are actually climbing through the Leeward Desert climb, then along the flat for a bit, and then straight up again. There's hardly any descent in that. I think it could well suit her. And she's a rider who's been riding really strongly in a mix of terrains now, because she's now riding on a squad of gravel racers as well, and gravel riders. So she's mixing up gravel along with what was a time trial background, and that's a great combination, I think, when you then translate that into esports and the type of course we have today. It's not going to help you necessarily in the sprints, and that's not really been Hayley Simmons' thing. Putting the power down and getting the pace down has been.
Really quickly, Gothlander and Gonzalez Rua going head-to-head in the sprint in category 2. They've been going head-to-head all month, and it was Gothlander who took it that time around.
Yep, we'll come back to that because they are indeed having one of the battles of the races. Now, let's dive in with our elite riders, the Category 1 riders. 5 teams are represented here today. The only team with 5 riders is Ablock International, Kristen Korchinski, Lisa Hermansen, Maria Holcroft, Mary Kate McCarthy, the world champion, and Mika Soderstrom. All the rest of the teams have 4. So Cat 1 Outcast, Bridget Falensky, Lisa Haag, Tennille Otto, Tiffany Penner, the Supernova squad of Amelia Van Hove, Cornelia Engstrom, and Elizabeth Van Hewling, along with Francesca Tomasi. So as our finals for April head out, they are joined by Sweat Sensations riders Amelia Felt, Gabriela Guerra, Catherine Fua, and Nicole Mayer, and the Breakaways team of 4, Camilla Arberg, Elise Gallegos, Marlene Bjarhead, and Nellie Larson. 2 individual riders, Lizzie Brooke and Dana Wagner, down on our start sheets as well. This, for me, is going to be very interesting how this plays out, because it's going to be really about not just the winning time, but any gaps between the winners and the second place or third place riders.
Yeah.
In terms of the 1, 2, 3 in the racing, And in part, that is because of the mix of teams. Sweat Sensations, Gabriela Guerra and Catherine Fu are super strong, backed up by Mayer and by Velt. But can they hold off teams like the one of the world champs? What do you reckon?
Well, I think this is a head-to-head today, and it's interesting to see Guerra has joined the Sweat Sensations. Bruni, the triathlete, the triathlons are coming thick and fast at the moment, and she's not on the start sheets today, and she's not racing. But Guerra, Fua, Maya, and Amelia Velt, such a strong squad. 58 seconds separated Ablock International from the Sweat Sensations last month. Guerra coming in is only going to strengthen the Sweat Sensations. So this, for me, is going to be so close. If it was 58 seconds last month, Guerra comes on board to the Sweat Sensations. This is going to be head-to-head. So Ablock International, Kolczynski has had a 5th place this month. Holdcroft is on the form of her life. 2 first places and a 3rd this month. McCarthy, the world champion, won 1st place and 2 seconds.
Yeah, you just said it. 2 seconds.
I know
the surprise was there in your
2
voice.
seconds to her teammate, Maria Holdcroft. Guerra's had a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Fua's had a 3rd and 2 fourths. Maya is always so close to that top 5. She's always just outside it, but so close. She's going to be a great 3rd counter if she beats Amelia Velt, who again is in a very similar position to her. So for me, this is, for the category 1 today, it's about time gaps. If those riders go clear at the front, how far can they go clear? Because going clear by a small amount is not going to cut it today. They have got to go clear by as much as possible to secure that team competition. Because Holdcroft, McCarthy, Fua and Guerra, those 4 riders could go clear. And it's about the time gaps between them, because 2 of those riders are on one team and 2 of them are on another.
So when we see riders racing and they have a gap, and let's say a rider has a minute gap, they know that they're clear, they know that they're going to get to the finish. We'll often see a rider then thinking about potentially the training they're going to do next week. If you keep hurting yourself, you keep on pushing yourself over your limit, and to just extend the gap that you've already got a winning gap, you're just basically doing damage to your following week's training, which will improve you for the week after. So what you're trying to do is not go too hard all the way to the finish. Do what you need to do to take the win, because the time is relatively unimportant in a qualifier. Here, because every second counts, whether you're off the front by a minute, you still need those extra seconds, because you don't know what's happening behind and how close it's going to be and how all those riders are going in terms of how clear-cut it is in terms of team position.
And let's not forget, it's just not the team competition for 1st and 2nd. It's the team competition right the way through. 17 prizes. So all of these teams are going to be battling it out today. And Bridget Falensky, as ever, normally in green, because she's normally leading the sprint competition. She is the sprint goddess of category 1, and I say that with no lightness about me at all. She is absolutely awesome in this category, ever present and ever dominant in those sprints.
And we saw her going really early there. This is a 200-meter sprint rather than a 300, and we generally have a mix of either 200 or 300-meter sprints on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club. Do you think that was because she knows she can do that over 300, and then she's just basically banging out 300-meter sprint, 300-meter sprint, 300-meter sprint, week in, week out, to go take those? Because that wasn't a 200-meter sprint. That wasn't just a wind up into it. That was a full 300-meter sprint.
Well, let's just have a little quick run through and then I'll come to that. So Falensky taking the sprint in category 1, 13.3. Not as fast as Gothlander in category 2, 12.9, or as fast as Montoya in category 3, 13.1. Pekakova setting a faster time as well in category 4, 13.32. Natalia Idzik, 14.5 to take category 5, and Jessica Hamilton, 15.3 to take category 6. Now, Falensky normally either goes from the back of the group to the front of the group, or she's often in the qualifiers riding off the back and ensuring sprint dominance. Nothing in the rules to say you can't do that. But today, I think she knows and her team knows that this is all going to be about when they hit those 2 climbs. And the teams are going to be focusing very much on those time gaps and the time differentials on those climbs, ensuring their leaders put in as much time as possible, but ensuring 2nd, 3rd and 4th place as well, and 5th place in those teams ride as strongly as they can. And I think Falensky knew that if she went off the front of the group on the sprint, she's got the power to even go faster than any of the riders who are coming through the bunch, because none of those really are her competition for the sprints.
And looking at those speeds going in, the category 1 bunch was not moving quick either.
No.
And I was just comparing all those times. Category 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 have been fearsome sprints.
Yes.
They have been absolute battles.
Well,
And that makes a massive, massive difference, doesn't it? Because you've got the whole pack moving fast.
and I think it's different because, we're seeing very different tactics here in category 2. The 7.1 kilometre marker, which is after the second sprint of the day. Bridget Kittle here is absolutely dialing it on the front here. Pia Kuma is there. Brittany Lytton is there. We know Brittany Lytton has come up from category 3 into category 2. She's an attacking style of rider. That very first week in category 2, she put in 2 massive attacks, just showing category 2 she was there. Well, these riders now absolutely pushing on. We said, and some of the categories it was going to come down to the final climbs. Category 2 is the category we were talking about. 13 riders had top 5 positions over the month. There are so many riders in this category capable of winning this race that the teams and the riders have got to do something different. They cannot wait till that final climb, because the quality of this race field, they could go into that final climb and still be in a group of 10 at the top of the climb and then have to sprint it out. These teams have got to work out in category 2 how they do the damage earlier, and this is how they're doing it. Attacks before the short rises.
Kittle, Eck, Kuma on that attack, all riding for the purebred daisies. We just saw Lytton on our screen, so that we can see her in person here, right up at the front of this. We also saw Shepherd around the very front of the group on the attack, on the pressure, putting the pressure on early. If you are not a pure climber at the end, make the climbers hurt, make them hurt early. This rolling attack, rest, recover, attack, rest, recover, that is going to be really key. You've got to race to your strengths. Okay, train your weaknesses, go, work on whether that's cadence work on a Monday with Emma in the live coaching, or whether that is doing sprint training, or whether it's doing the power, the seated efforts. But you race your strengths. You go out there and you make people suffer. And look at this, Gottlander at the moment now having to chase on to the group. She has been distanced. I mean, this is really interesting because in the front group, we've got Dorothy Gonzalez-Ruhr, who was challenging in those sprint battles. Gottlander at the moment doesn't have the advantage. It's in Gonzalez-Ruhr basically interest to push the group in front on and not let these three back. But I think they're going to come back.
Because Van der Vliet, the rower, she's been out on competition rowing, but she's back in on the Sunday Race Club, and she's a strong rider. She's got phenomenal endurance, and her climbing is superb. Hayley Simmons and Jennifer Gottlander, you can see we're in with Gottlander on our screen at the moment. The stars on her shorts, the green jersey on her back, because she is a star sprinter, but they are indeed closing it down, and that gap was at 4 seconds. Thompson just coming back off the group. Can you see that there? And giving a little bit of slip there. Simmons' teammate.
Yes, just dropping to help come back. And Maria Marb, also a teammate, has been dropped by about 35 seconds at the moment.
Nice teamwork.
Like Emily Nyquist also, interestingly, the rider then behind. Okay, but let's go back into category 1. We're in with Francesca Tomasi, just coming over the top of the climb, clearly working hard on the climb to make the racing hard. Tennille Otto in there, Soderstrom, Holcroft, Alberg, Velt, Bjarhead, all in this group. The group is well stretched out here. So Tomasi and Otto, riders who are making this hard early. Tennille Otto riding for the same squad, in fact, of Falensky. That's the Cat 1 outcast. Really interesting move by her there, going over the top. Tomasi. Well, Tomasi, interesting to see how she rides, because she's riding for the Supernova squad. So Van Hove, Engstrom, Van Heuling, and Tomasi on that squad. Again, I think we've seen the teams that are not out and out favourites looking at really breaking up the rhythm of the teams of favourites.
Yeah. I don't disagree, and it is a really, really interesting race already underway here. Can I just say, it's the 27th of April today, isn't it?
It is.
The Duathlon World Championships is taking place today.
Oh, yes.
Guess who's walking her bike, or has put pictures on her social media of walking her bike to the exchange?
No idea. Go on.
Mel Bruni.
Mel Bruni. Oh, I should have guessed your name if you were talking about her. So she is, well, good luck, bon chance to Mel Bruni, or whatever it is in German. I don't actually know it in German. That's terrible of me.
That's for you to learn for next week.
It
Okay,
is.
the Bahrain sprint. Let's take a look at the times. And this time, Bridget Falensky does indeed set the fastest time in category 1, 11.664 of a second. Pekka Kova takes it in category 4 with the next fastest time. Then Gothlander in category 2. Idzik in category 5 puts in a strong performance. Lam Kong. Oh, I tell you something. It's so good to have Lam Kong back racing again. It really, really is. Category 3. And then Jessica Hamilton in category 6. And thank you very much for the production team for keeping me on my toes this morning and just slipping in a little change in the order.
Yes, putting it in speed order rather than in category order. Fantastic stuff. Well, if Emma hasn't had enough coffee, she's soon going to find out. Certainly in the sound checks this morning, she had. That is for certain. As we make our way up on to this overpassing category 1, category 2, just dipping down there at 11 kilometers into the race route. They've got a long way to go to get to the Leeward Desert Climb, but that is where our category 6 riders, the first riders of today, have already reached, with Londano on the front of this group as they come into this climb. Now, this climb, I had a little look at the times on this climb a little earlier on. The course record for this. Now, we change routes and we change, the dynamics have changed on MyWhoosh as we have moved over. The latest update changing how the race is ridden and the dynamics. So just to put it into a little bit clearer context, I had a look for the 2025 times, the fastest times in 2025 so far on this climb. Now, I'm not going to guarantee these are exactly the same segments because it's a 5-minute climb, but I'm sure that includes the second part of the segment, not the first. But it still gives you an indication that in comparison to what's coming up, this is a big strength sprint effort rather than a pure climb effort.
Well, it is indeed, and I'm just taking a little look. Penguins? There are penguins by the side of the road. Well, as the penguins...
They've escaped from the zoo.
As the penguins watch on, 11 riders in category 6 went into the base of the climb. You can see one rider now, Londano, just having difficulties on the back of the group, staying with them. The group's starting to stretch a little bit, and it's Fanuccicorn, Sarasuk and Amy Sulibayo who are pushing on at the front. No surprises there. Both really strong climbers. Brooke Samuel is in the mix. Liz Smithson, Angie Solorzano, Juliana Agudelo is there as well. These riders really starting to push on, and the stretch is coming on the group. The question is, they've got a flat transition now. Can the group come back together, and will we see 10 riders go into the base of the Jebel Yase in category 6 together?
So they've got to keep on kicking category 6, but with the potential to break. They may break into 2 groups. We'll keep our eye on that as they go up on to the top. This is the top of the climb, category 5, on the way into this same section. But Sulibayo here looking to add the points into the bank. The 5 points for coming through first. She does. She surely is going to take the fastest time up there. Takes a drink in person. The Avatar takes a bit of a breather. The Amy Sulibayo, mission accomplished. 4.1. She chose to accept it. And that was definitely not mission impossible for her. Can she do the same now when we come to the final climb and give herself the top of the jersey into the climber's jersey at the end? Now, going into the base, category 5 are on the way in as category 6 have crested the top of the climb. They're getting close.
Well, they are, but I'm going to give you the top 10 riders in the category 6 race because they are probably going to come together. So Sulibayo, Smithson, Samuel, Sarasuk, Jaskalainen, Agudelo, Solorzano, Bremner, Barco and Quap.
And Londano was distance, wasn't she? I think Manon Holtman also.
Yes.
Okay. in with category 5 leaders on the climb, onto the early stages of this climb. And it is not a consistent
Wow.
gradient here. It's still a big group here together in category 5. We're in with Sabara right at the moment, the rider that we saw earlier on. We've still got Natalia Idzik, who has indeed hoovered up all of the points and has taken away the win in the sprint competition, as long as she makes it to that finishing line, because she has got that green skin suit on, and there are no more sprints to come, so those positions are not going to change. Anybody coming through behind now is unlikely to challenge for that. That further back down the course as the riders come up here, past the horses, the flamingos, and the penguins to come. There they
I
go.
think that's 15
As
riders,
they
you know.
on the way up the climb. 15 riders is a big group. Palmer Mongelli, we have seen her racing strong. She's a rider who's really aggressive on these climbs and really does race to her strength. She does that. She kicks on. She really pushes. She knows, I think, very, very well that when you go on to like the leveling sections here, we're just going to go around this roundabout here and then kick up and over the top. When you go over the top, accelerate there, you can really break this grip, and she's really doing that at the moment. I think she's also looking to add the points. You can see Mongelli at the top of the two riders here. I'll ride down at the bottom there. There are two riders on screen at the moment. I'll tell you something, Palmer Mongelli is absolutely nailing this. She's got company on the way through, though, and our ride does not want to let this group go at the front. Mongelli with Alzate. Now Alzate takes the lead at the front. Mongelli really needs to kick here if she wants to take away these points. She can't afford to go too hard behind. Hamilton, the sprinter winner in category 6, is mixed in with this group. Idzik, the sprint winner in category 5, is in this group as well. But as they go through, it is Alzate who takes the fastest time there from Mongelli. Now, what can these riders do? The effort they've put in, don't waste that effort. Don't just use it for points in the climb competition. You've got the chance now to eliminate a number of riders. Look on the top right-hand side of the screen. There are dots of riders all the way down here. Push now at the front as a group. You are going to distance people. You're going to put them in real trouble. That's category 5, right-hand side of the screen. Left-hand side of your screen, you can see coming onto the big screen, it is category 4, another huge group. This includes Pekka Kova, who has sealed the win in the points competition in category 4, by the look of it. Has got that green skin suit on of a sprint leader. They've picked up a rider from category 5 at the moment on that descent on the way in to the next climb. They're at 22.9K. It's only 500 meters to the start of the climb, and that's what's coming up next for them. We're just in with Veronica Ciciola as we make our way in now. She's a rider who has been performing really well here in category 4. She'll be looking to take away some good team prizes today for the power of Red Squad. Alzette Lopez, Kowalska as well. Ciciola making up that team as they move in towards Leeward Desert Climb category 4. This is going to be critical. You're not going to win the race here, but you can put yourself in contention and ensure you're not taken out and dropped off the back of the group.
Oh, really interesting racing. Look at the size of that category 4 pack coming in. At the end of this short, sharp Leeward Desert Climb, the category 6 riders went from 11 to 9. The category 5 riders went from 15 to 12. What are this category 4 pack going to do? And it's Karl Wazewska on the front with Gina DeGrazia and Hanna Pekakova. Randy Gino is there as well. Really strong riders. 1 or 2 just getting distance now, but we are looking at 1, 9, 12, 15. I reckon there's got to be over 20 riders still in that group.
So if you were in this race, Emma, and you're on this climb, let's get Coach Emma.
Oh gosh,
Coach Emma.
Can we not have commentator Emma? Come on.
No,
let's go. Go on.
Commentator Emma is going to use Coach. If you were in here and one of your riders was in this race,
yep,
and you were able to talk to that rider, riding alongside, tell them what to do, where would you be telling them? How far up this bunch do they need to be?
I'd want them 5th or 6th wheel.
Okay, not on the very front?
No. Follow the move, but don't make it.
Why?
Because you need your energy for the final climb.
Okay.
And a lot of this climb is draftable. And it's short. And if you're... Well, to be really honest, it depends on who your rider is. And what their capabilities are. But you really want to be 5th wheel on there. You want to be towards the front. You want to be watching the move. If someone makes an attack, you don't want to be too far off it because you've got a big flat section coming afterwards, so you can close it down with other riders. But right here, you want to be, as I said, about fifth wheel because you've got riders going off. But Gina de Gracia, Hannah-Pekka Kova, and Gina van Rossum, the riders right in the mix here. Pekka Kova on the front. She might be wearing that green skin suit of the sprint leader, but she is showing just what a class all-round rider she is at the moment.
She is, and she's going for the win here in the climb competition as well. She's got to keep pushing. This will come down to where the riders were coming into the climb. They go over the line together. That was Goodall and Pekka Kova. Pekka Kova has got
done
that.
a double.
Well, you can see her breathing hard there, sucking in the oxygen up on the front. Gina van Rossum looking focused there, as is Gina de Gracia. De Gracia's been doing a lot of racing on the road, a lot of podiums. Very impressive racing and riding away from esports. Is that going to have an impact here today? We're going to have to find out. 4 riders a little bit clear of that group.
They are, but look at what we're seeing. We're seeing the group come back together, and we said this is really likely to happen because you've got this pan flat, and I mean it is pan flat run in. There you go. The group are coming back. 4 riders went away towards the top of the climb to contest that polka dot jersey competition, but the group now all coming back together again because of the nature of the terrain on the transition section.
And 1 or 2 riders dropped. So just a little bit of attrition. You're not going to win the race, but you can lose it by not being in contention at that place. Have Category 3 been paying attention? One rider who doesn't need any lessons on how to race is Julia Montgomery. A very savvy rider in terms of positioning and riding. Good to see Julia with a big smile on her face. I'm not sure I'd be smiling going into what is my most despised climb on the entire worlds of MyWhoosh, Leeward Desert Climb. I can say it's because it is.
Might not be the
longest. She's on the bike.
She's doing what she loves with a group of women that she probably really enjoys racing with. What's not to smile about?
Indeed. Very, very true indeed. And here we go. Let's see if the smile is there at the top. You never know. Production team might jump back in to see if that smile's still there. I'll tell you something. If I was at the front of this group at the top, I'd definitely be smiling because this is a very big group to be in. And this isn't just about being in position in terms of keeping the draft for yourself, but it's also about not letting the wheel go. If you are being too far down here and a gap goes, you're going to be in trouble because the group is so big. Once that gap goes, you're going to have to do a lot of work to make up, to move up. There's a lot of distance can be covered by this group. We're on our way in. You said this was draftable. At the moment, it certainly is. 28 kilometers an hour, the speed coming in here. It's not just about power to weight ratio, not just about watts per kilo, but it's also about power to CDA or drag, aerodynamic drag.
And also, what I'm going to say to our viewers, if you're wondering how we can tell that, because the watts number is green. So when the number in the middle of that white bar for the rider is dark grey, it means the rider is out in the wind. They're not in the draft. When the number turns green, that indicates the rider is in the draft. Okay, so you don't need to necessarily know what gradient does the draft stop, how does the draft work on the different gradients. Just take a look on the screen when you're watching and viewing. Really easy to see the position of the rider and whether they're in the draft or out of the draft because it's either green or it's dark grey.
And the more draft you can get, the more rest, less energy you're expending, and the more draft advantage you're taking. Just getting that little bit of help is going to be key. You can see just how hard it is in this group. But 3 real class riders here: Kimberly Miller, Angel Ann Hadlock, and Valentina Desegna, all here working hard. Hadlock goes back down into the saddle, back out again. That distinctive climber from a real racer's style there.
I love watching Hadlock when we drop into that.
I tell you something, that is 100% commitment.
Always.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Now over the top line and then goes through with that polka dot skin. So this is Julia Montgomery. Is she smiling or not? Are we going to find out?
22
I tell you something, I would be. She's right up at the front, and 22 riders
still in that leading group in Category 3. I'm going to give you a really quick
That's going
run.
to be really painful once they hit the start of the next climb.
Lennon De Silva, Montgomery, Hakkinen Briggs, Bergin, Kong, Hadlock Dijkstra, Miller, Daniels, Bonilla, Altamirano. Julia Montgomery is not smiling so much anymore. The pain is on. The race is on. Davidson is there. Beltran is there. Altamirano is there. McKay is there. Shanks is there. And Montgomery gave us a little smile.
It was indeed. I tell you something. It might require less muscle energy to smile than to frown, but there's sometimes when you are on the limit that you just have no choice but to breathe first and smile later.
Well, often the decision is that a grimace or is that a smile?
On a climb for me, that's definitely been grimace of late. Okay, category 6 and category 5 now on to our final climb. So they'd already negotiated the Leeward Desert climb. We've just seen our riders go over. They are on our final climb of the day. Now, let's talk about this final climb, Emma. We have got a climb which is 7.5 kilometers long. Now, you've said at the start of the show, this is the first time we've been on this route at this distance. Is this the first time that they've climbed the Yebel Yace and it's been a 7.5 kilometer climb?
Oh, ask me a question I haven't double checked or cross referenced.
Because the reason I'm asking that is that Gabby Guerra's course record that's shown at the moment on the fantastic site, which is MyWhooshinfo.com. Make sure you do jump on and give us some support. Gabby Guerra's time is 20, it was set this year, and this is this year time.
Oh, well,
26th of the 1st, 2025.
in which case, that's not the length of the climb, because the only time the women have raced this course before in 2025 is the 45-kilometre course, and that was at the January finale.
And that would be the 13-kilometre version.
Yeah.
Not the short version. Well, that means that we're going to have a new course record, I think, set today. Switching it back round, we're now back in colour order, a category order for our sprint winners.
Tell you, they're keeping us on our toes today.
Thanks, team. Lisa Hag taking the sprint at the moment, but that 16.22 time in category 1 gives me a clear indication that that time by Elisa, whilst it's the fastest at the moment, is not going to remain the fastest. I suspect Britt Falinsky will be making her way through to take that. Meanwhile, Dorothy Gonzalez-Ruhr, interestingly, taking that sprint, and she was battling it out at the front with Gothilander in category 2.
Yes.
Now, question for me is, have they all gone through? Is it job done? Because I think it is.
Well, it is, but I can tell you, just bear with me a moment. So Gonzalez-Ruhr takes it in the 3rd sprint. Gothlander took it in the 1st, and Gothlander took it in the 2nd. So Gothlander should, on countback, on points, take the overall sprint competition, even though she's taken 2 firsts and a 2nd, whereas Gonzalez-Ruhr has taken 2 seconds and a 1st.
Super tight in that competition. Now, Elisa Hag taking the green jersey at the moment, because I don't think we've got Falensky in this main group at this stage. 17.3k into the race, and I think that's Hag just pushing on there as we drop in with Lisa Hermansen, nicely tucked in the group. Now, Hermansen, we know, is an aggressive racer, a great sprinter, and a great rider when we've got a course like California,
she's brilliant in
Belgium, potentially something where she can use that sprint time and time again. Now, Lisa, on a course like this, which is bumpy early on, I would imagine to see her really putting the pressure on, but not racing flat out, because I think she needs to save some energy for the back end of this course.
Her race last in March final, she had a phenomenal race. She came in 3rd counter for the Ablock International squad with a superb performance in California, and it is one of her suited courses. She really, really rides strong, as you say, Matt, in Belgium and in California. It suits her. The higher level power, the sprint power that she has, she can utilise on those shorter, sharper climbs. Today we've got a much longer finale, but I think she's a rider coming into some really great form, and we've seen riders, form ebbs and flows throughout your training across the year. And for me, she's one of the riders who coming into some good form at the moment, if you look at her results recently.
And she's a rider for a big occasion. There are a number of riders out there. Big occasions, they come big. They go strong. We're talking about Lisa Longo Borghini taking a podium. She's a rider when it's a big occasion. Big occasion coming up today. It's the women's Liège-Bastogne-Liège and the men's. I mean, she's a rider for the big occasion. She's got 2 second places in 2024 and 2023 and a 3rd place in 2021 at Liège-Bastogne-Liège. She'll be looking to take the win, and you cannot discount a rider. And she's a rider for me like Lisa Hermansen, who, when it's a big occasion, a monument of the sport, or a final, a world championship, qualifier, etc., they're the sort of riders that come good on those big occasions.
They just respond differently. It's just something about them. And you see those riders that you don't see perhaps through a national series. And at the national champs, they are right in the mix. And they just tailor their training. They just perform on a big stage, and they're after those medals. Mongeli, Idzik and Kokkonen, the riders in the mix here. I mean, take a look at this. They're on the climb at the moment. Pamela Mongeli, the look of concentration on her face at the moment. Absolutely dialing it. She's in the mix here with Idzik and Kokkonen. Great to see Novel and Kokkonen really working hard, but really putting in a strong ride at the moment.
Yeah, look where she is in terms of positioning here. She's chasing this group. She's not far off the very front of the race. It's great to see Noveline Kokkonen coming back to her best. A rider who we've seen racing on the platform for some time now. Natalia Idzik already having taken away the win today in the individual competition in terms of the sprints competition. So she's got segment prizes and also going to be taking away the overall in the sprints competition. But Marshall, Freias, Sonnerson, Idzik leading the charge for category 5. They're going to catch these riders. This is Angie Solorzano and Adriana Barco. And they're the two riders about to be caught by the leaders in category 5. And this means that they're going to break into single digits at the front of the race in terms of their overall position as we see Adriana Barco. Now, this is where Barco needs to be smart because the temptation is to go hard just to grab a bit of draft, to keep on pushing, to use those riders as a carrot, but you've got to be smart. Go too deep now. We're 29.5k into the race. We've got to get to 34.3.
Just under 5k to go.
Yeah, you can't afford to go too deep chasing a category that you're not racing against, really.
Can I just counter you there? Because sometimes you're not aware of what you're actually capable of until you just give it a gung-ho, let's just race.
How often, when you've been racing, have you, given that I get to sit in a commentary box next to you week in, week out pretty much, and would like to think know what you're doing. How many times when you've been racing have you actually gone gung-ho until the point where you've blown your socks off?
And occasionally. Well, on a couple of occasions, but more often than not,
You've gone gung-ho.
No, maybe more often than not, I am and have been known to be a much more hesitant rider, trying to conserve energy. And sometimes I've got off the bike and thought, I really should have dug in there and just followed that wheel. Not thought about it.
Take a lead from Jennifer Goslander's
Don't think about
book.
it. Sometimes she just race.
She races. She just goes. Look at that face there. We are on over the top of the climb here. Leeward Desert climb here. She's got the sprint jersey. She wants the climb jersey. She's battling it out here. Sophie Giovanni is the rider who is in front. This could come down to where they were coming in. Giovanni will go through the line first. Has she done enough to take away the polka dot? She's going to have a faster time than Goslander, but it will now come down to where they are on that final climb. Giovanni taking that. Now, there was a big group going over in our previous category. Look at this now. The split has happened. The power of Giovanni and Goslander on the front there has broken away 3 or 4 riders off the back. And then further down the climb, there's still 1s and 2s. Do we have an idea, Emma, how many there are in this league group?
26 riders.
You are kidding me. 26.
Bear in mind, there were 31 riders on the start sheets today in category 2. We are 24.7 kilometres into a 34.3 kilometre race, and there are still 26 riders in the leading group in category 2. I said this was going to be a close race. This is just going to be brilliant.
It's very easy to sit here and go, come on, guys, you've not been trying hard enough in category 2. You've only shed a few riders and you're so far into the race. But you know what? That would be so wrong. Because this is the close racing we get. We've got 6 race categories. Not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1. This is 6 race categories spread across our race field. And that means that each race category is close, tight, hard racing, competitive racing in all of our categories, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club, as we see category 1 about to hit the descent down into towards that Leeward Desert climb. So this is running in, and
I reckon there's 20 riders in that group too.
And they started off with
23
on the start list. That's if everybody started. It's a huge pack. Will they all be together? We will find out now. We're going to the very front of the race. Liz Smith and Bridget Bremner, Katja Jessica Leinen, Finucci Gonçalves, Amy Sudabayo, along with Julia Agadella and Brooke Samuel leading this in Category 6. But the Category 5 leaders are on their way. They're at 30.5k. They are heading in towards their final few kilometres now. And this is where, when Category 5 leaders come to Category 6 leaders, Category 5 and 6 leaders are not that differentiated too much here. And I think there is a chance here that if somebody has saved some energy, they can kick clear here, get that time gap, and then leave the rest of the group behind. Jump on board, and you can see the push coming here. Smith and Jääskeläinen are pushing here. They are the two. They've now had to ease off. They went a little bit there. They haven't broken the elastic completely.
You've got to be so careful here, though. But
You
Sudabayo, you could
oh,
see the work going in. She was adamant she wanted to make sure she stayed with the front of her race, even though the Category 5 riders were going over the top. So Marshall and Mongeli, the two riders leading Category 5, over the top of the leading group of Category 6, Jääskeläinen, Smiths and Bremner and Sudabayo. Really strong battles going on here in both races, Category 5 and Category 6. Anna Fry's not far back from that leading too, but I think it's Marshall and Mongeli now pushing on for that Category 5 race win. Fry's now trying desperately to cross over. She's come past the Category 6 leading group, but Smiths and Sudabayo, Jääskeläinen and Agadello, Bremner is in there as well as Saracen.
it's breaking behind.
It's starting to break, but do you know what? They are going to battle to the top.
I think they will come back together again in Category 6. Category 5, these three riders really have gone through the cleanest, and they have gone clear. So Fries Mongeli in there chasing the leader. We're going to go a bit further back down the hillside here, down the slopes of the Jebel Yates climb. This the biggest climb actually in the UAE. If you go out to the UAE and you want to go ride your bike, big climbs, iconic climbs to ride, Jebel Hafit and the Jebel Yates. Don't bother with the Liwa Desert Climb. Just go ride the Liwa circuit. The Liwa circuit's brilliant, and the dunes at Liwa Dunes and Telmarie Dunes, fantastic to ride through. But go ride Jebel Yates. It's actually a 27-kilometer climb in total. And for somebody who hates climbing, it's definitely on my bucket list.
Well, on the right-hand side of your screen, there's still 10 riders in that leading group in Category 4 at the moment as they head onto the bottom of the Jebel Yates. Category 1, they're not there yet. They're into the Liwa Desert Climb, and Amelia Velt at the moment and Gabby Guerra are absolutely dialing it. Now, Guerra and Velt, teammates who have dialed it into the base of the Liwa Desert Climb on that Sweat Sensation squad. McCarthy, the rider now having to respond behind. Fua, also on that squad, will know what her teammates are doing, and her job is to mark McCarthy. So is Maya. So they are marking the world champion back in the pack as the two teammates, Guerra and Velt, push on the Liwa Desert Climb.
And Guerra, we know, will be wanting to take away the climbs competition as well as take an individual win and take the team win. These riders, you don't get into Category 1 without being a born winner, without being a great rider. And you can see there, Guerra out of the saddle, kicks down on the pedals. Now, she's 3/4 of the way up this climb. The chase is coming, and Tiffany Penner is the rider who is leading that chase at the moment. This is a good ride by Penner. She's been putting in a lot of training, looking strong, and this is, for me, the sort of response you get when you're able to put that explosive power down. Saw her actually doing some work in the gym this week, and she was really some really dynamic stuff with a big medicine ball, picking it up and hurling it down at the floor, using that explosive,
her power is amazing.
Picking it up with the power to jump off the floor and then launch that ball back down again. That off-bike training really working, and great to see her. No touching Gabby Guerra, though. Look at this. She's going to go over the top. Surely this means she's going to take the lead and take it into the climb of the Jebel Yates. The question will be for me, what does she do now? Does she continue to push? Do you know the distance, Emma, between here, the top of this, and the start of our next climb? Your maths is much faster than mine.
It's 2 kilometres. Well, actually, it's 1 point. It is indeed exactly 2 kilometres.
So if it's 2K, does Guerra keep pushing for 2K? Does she make it hard for the chase, or does she take in some rest now? Good question. She's got a little bit of time to think about that as the groups start to come. The fastest time up there by some margin. Guerra from Giovanni from Leinonen, Pikakova, Alzate, and Sidibayo. They are the winners of that climb in their respective categories. And some really interesting battles unfolding further through the race fields as well. Don't forget, you can catch up with all the results of all of the segments in the race on the MyWhoosh.com website. You can go to results and they are live there. Now, interesting, we go on to the flat, and it's Mika Soderstrom who's doing the work here. McCarthy's and Holcroft's teammate.
Well, that's because Gabby Guerra has settled into a strong time trialing pace on that transition. Your question has been answered. What does Gabby Guerra do? Gabby Guerra time trials the 2K to the base of the climb and tries to catch the group napping.
And by time trialing, we mean basically just sitting just underneath her threshold, holding it at a pace she can sustain without going into the red.
Yeah, and we know she can sustain the type of pace. She's currently about 5.7 to 6 watts per kilo. She can sustain that for a strong period of time. And at the moment now, it's up to the group behind to do the chasing. Guerra's got Guerra mode on. You know, this is it. I'm focused. I'm going. This is my race. I'm away. The rest of them have got to do the chasing now. It's a 7-second gap back, and it's McCarthy, no surprises, who is at the front of that. But she's coming off the pace. I think she's trying to let somebody else pick up the charge, and they're probably looking around going, well, hold on a minute. McCarthy's in the pack. What does she want to do? Well, Maria Holdcroft now coming to the fore. Catherine Fu is not going to do any chasing. Neither is Maya or Velt, because they are part and parcel of that Sweat Sensation squad. They are going to let Guerra get as big a gap as possible.
And you can just see on the front, it is Mika Soderstrom who's doing the work here, trying to close down. I would if Lisa Hermansen had anything in the tank and she's in this group, I'd expect to see her moving up as well, because the three surely for the Ablock International on this climb should be Kolchinsky, Holcroft, and McCarthy. They are all in this group, and they are the three riders for the climb. We're about to hit the climb. You can just see Guerra's gap has been reduced a little bit, but the chase has distance riders. There are riders off the back of the group in Category 1. Now, Liz Van Heuling comes on to the base of the climb. She knows that she's on her way to the summit. It is uphill all the way from here, and being in that leading group is going to be key, and the pressure is on. McCarthy is chasing Guerra, and you can see what damage that's doing. Class athlete like Liz Van Heuling, like Mika Soderstrom, Lisa Helig, all losing time. Tennille Otto losing time. Tiffany Penner pushing up the lead with Desert Climb, now over 30 seconds back. Chased, did some work, but now in trouble.
Well, the squad here now starting to chase Guerra. So Guerra continuing to hold the pace. McCarthy is the rider now coming up and onto the wheel. Nicole Mayer doing a great job for that Sweat Sensation squad. She's currently on McCarthy's wheel. And that's the sort of thing, isn't it? You're marking other teams. You've got riders from other teams that you might be, well, you mark that one, I'll mark this one, and we'll do that close chase. You know, riders have got so many different tactics and strategies, and they will have talked about this before the race. They'll be talking about it during the race, watching the race unfold, and just, you know, enabling the racing to happen. So McCarthy comes up onto the wheel of Guerra. Guerra wearing the polka dot skin suit, leading that climbing competition in Category 1. Maria Holdcroft following her teammate, Kate McCarthy, onto Guerra's wheel. Kolchinsky is there as well. She's another rider in Ablock International. That is a strong squad. Guerra now comes up to the side of McCarthy. Holdcroft, Fuhr, Kolchinsky, Mayer, Olberg, all in the mix. 3 seconds from Guerra to Olberg at the moment. This is looking like a group of 6 now going clear.
So the break is starting to happen in Category 1, the last of our leading groups to hit the slopes of the Yeboyes, the legendary climb here in the UAE. the riders making the way up, and at the moment it is the world champion Mary Kate McCarthy with Gabby Guerra on her wheels. Those are the two riders. You can see Maria Holcroft, who's taken 2 wins out of the available 3 in our qualifiers at the moment, having to fight to try and get onto the wheels as we see McCarthy continue to push clear of Guerra at the moment. Guerra not panicking at the moment, now gets out of the saddle in pursuit. That's the left-hand side of your screen. At the moment, the right-hand side of your screen heading in towards the finish. You've got 3 riders from 3 separate teams. Palmer Mongelli at the moment in 3rd place from the Black Panthers. You've got Anna Frias of the Phoenix squad in front of her, and then it's Gabriella Marshall up at the front of the race for the Velocity Vipers with 1,000 meters to go. It's going to be every pedal stroke that counts. This is key. 3 riders clear, 28 seconds back to the chasers, but every rider has to work. Team competition at stake today.
So Gabby Marshall's had 2 4th places this month. It's looking like she's got an opportunity now to go better than that and to top the podium today. Anna Frias is on her wheel and is going to be playing very close in contention to the last 900 meters today. These 2 riders locked together in category 5. Mongelli now at 14 seconds is continuing to try and close the gap, but the gap now may not be closable as Marshall pushes on. Frias watches the wheel and really just keeps her eye on what Marshall is doing.
Oh, really interesting. Just behind as well, Velocity Vipers. They've got Enna Sonson in the chase. That's Gabriella Marshall's teammate. The Black Panthers have got Maria Wilhelm also in the chase, very, very close behind. Inside the top 5, that's Palmer Mongelli's teammate. Natalia Idzik, well, she's leading for the What Women in terms of their first counter. So this is going to be really, really key. Gabrielle Marshall at the moment, though, opening a little bit of a gap here to Anna Frias. This means that she's going to take maximum points on the climb. We'll see how that's going to go. Frias is responding, though, behind, and Frias comes in underneath. And that means that there's going to be a transference of the jersey. You saw it being switched
now
across
take
there.
A watch.
Now Frias puts down the pressure. She starts to accelerate up. This is the run up towards the line. It continues upwards. Remember, this race finishes at 34.3K.
It does indeed. And Frias took the win in Wollongong in qualifier 2. Those steep climbs, it was 3 seconds that separated the top 6 riders in category 5 that day. And Anna Frias just showing us what phenomenal climbing legs she had. Now, noticeably, Mongelli has just picked up the polka dot skin suit as the fastest climber in category 5. But that's not going to stop Anna Frias today and Gabrielle Marshall, who is pushing behind as they sweep around the corner and into the last 150 meters of this race today.
So Anna Frias at the moment looking to repeat her win that she took in the qualification. Behind her, Gabrielle Marshall looks to be distance. It looks to be game over, but this run for the line is still continues at nearly 4%. All the way up to that UCI gantry that's going to signal the end of our women's race here on MyWhoosh on the April finals. Anna Frias has accelerated. She got her timing right. She attacked coming out of the final climb banner, and it means that she's going to solo to victory here on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club, taking race victory in that April final. Anna Frias, your race winner and your winner in category 5. In second place, immediately behind, it's Gabrielle Marshall. She's going to take a second place here. She leads home her team as behind Palmer Mongelli. The third team to set a rider in through the line will be Mongelli's team. Frias coming in and over the line for the Phoenix squad in first. We saw Marshall come in second place for the Velocity Vipers. In third place, it is going to be Palmer Mongelli of the Black Panthers who goes over the line. This will be key for the team competition.
It will do indeed. And Sudabayo and Smithson locked together at the moment. Now, Amy Sudabayo, she's in the polka dot skin suit at the moment. She took the win last week in Tel Marib and the climbing competition that day. Smithson's best position this month was fourth, back in qualifier 1 on the Hedera Ascent climb course. And you can see the look of concentration on Sudibayo's face. She's absolutely adamant she's going to have this. She's going to come around the corner and see the banner shortly. Smithson's chasing hard, but what can Smithson do?
This is all about the power of Smithson. Has she got enough to answer Sudibayo's attack? Sudibayo can see the line. She's really pushing now. This is about racing through the line. It's about holding off the damage that could be done by Smithson if she were to come back. But this is going to be Amy Sudibayo. This is going to be a day. She takes away the win here in the April finals. Race victory. Amy Sudibayo in category 6. Great racing, great battle as Liz Smithson comes across the line in a category 5 as we see, category 6 as we see the race on behind category 4 and 3 coming to the line. And look at this, Kim Bonilla is on an absolute charge here. Kim Bonilla comes in and through the line in category 3. She takes the win. In category 4, I think that's going to be Veronica Ciciola who's going to take away the win in category 4. They're coming thick and fast at our finish line. Emma, do a quick summary for us.
Well, I can do indeed. Let's start with category 3. So Dana Davidson takes the win for the April Flowers squad in category 3. Hannah Hakkinen comes through in 2nd. Kim Bonilla in 3rd.
Wow.
Jenny Daniel in 4th. Lorena Beltran in 5th. Hannah Shanks in 6th place today. In category 4, Veronica Ciciolka comes through for the win. Hannah Pekakova comes through for 2nd. Melissa Simpkin for 3rd. Hannah Goodall for 4th. Geneva Ellos in 5th place today. In category 5, it was Anna Frias from Gabrielle Marshall, Palma Morgelli, Emma Sonnerson, and Maria Wilhelm. And in category 6, Amy Sudibayo took the win from Liz Smithson, Juliana Agudelo, Katja Jaskalainen, and Fanucci Korn Sarasuk in 5th.
I'm going to give you some very quick team results at the moment. These are what have come in so far. These are live, remember. We have got the yellow team ahead of the Wanderers in category 3 at the moment as the category 2 riders hit 1K to go. The full force team, I think, have taken the victory in category 4. Profita Rolling coming in 3rd place, I think, in that team competition. We'll try and keep you updated on those as we see this big group of riders in category 2 come around the turn. They're at 32.4K. They still have just under a kilometre to the finish, but it's a huge group here today. Kalman, who took a debut victory this month, and she's backed that up. We've got Kokolowitz, Fearsome Glimey. You've got Samara Shepherd in here, Caramella in here, Pia Kuma in here. This is going to be key. Emma, who's going to take this? It could be anybody's here today.
Samara Shepherd, the mountain biker coming to the fore here on the climb, just showing us the strength and endurance that she has. Karolina Kolkowitz is there, Sophie Giovanni is there, Pia Kuma is there, Jenny Eck is there. Jenny Eck now starting to get distanced here. Surprise, surprise, because Jenny Eck, well, she's had 2 5th places this month and 1 climbing competition overall, but she looks like she may well be out of this now. We're in with Sophie Giovanni, and she is coming up behind Kolkowitz. So Kolkowitz in 1, Giovanni in 2, Caramello and Shepherd. Kuma is there as well as Kalman, but it is Kolkowitz at the moment that is starting to go clear.
So can Sophie Giovanni close down on Kolkowitz, the rider who is off the front at the moment? There is still some distance to go. Remember that the climb segment itself finishes at 33.8. The race finishes at 34.3. These riders are really working hard here to break the group, and it's Karolina Kolkowitz who's doing that in category 2. In category 1, we saw that move by McCarthy start to go clear. She's extended her lead. She's best part of 30 seconds plus clear of Maria Holcroft, who is leading the charge behind at the moment. Now, McCarthy can't ease off. This is that moment. You've got a race-winning gap. You can't ease back because she will want to take away that team prize. And she knows that for Holcroft, Kaczynski, Hermansen, Soderstrom, the rest of her teammates, she's got to keep on pushing.
Well, she has indeed, and you can see there the push. Top screen, McCarthy on the left. Bottom left is Guerra, who's currently in third position at the moment. She is, well, she's 400 metres back in third. Fua in fourth. Her teammate, 22 seconds further back, has company because Ulberg is there as well. Now, on the right-hand side of your screen, they are coming thick and fast into that final 1,000 metres. Kolkowitz is there, Eck is there, Kuma is there, but it is absolutely fast and furious at the moment with Kolkowitz clear of Shepherd by 8 seconds.
I tell you something, Karolina Kolkowitz at the moment, and Damian Kiesnowski's comment on the live feed brought it to my attention. Got to give him credit for it. 199, the heart rate of Kolkowitz at the moment, going up to 200. That is some serious heart rate beat. She's looking to repeat her win on Arabia, on Talmarie, but she took victory there. She's also taken victory, interestingly, on the Alto de Aguila course, has Kolkowitz. So she's shown that she can climb behind Samara Shepherd, clearly starting to be more and more competitive on the Sunday Race Club, really getting used to riding on MyWhoosh and I'm racing the discipline here at the moment. In second place, Sophie Giovanni, the climb winner. In third place at the moment with Caramel and Kalman. I mean, we are talking a real who's who of Category 2, but that this is going to come down to the line. Through the polka dot banner they go. This will decide the destination of the polka dot jersey overall, and it is Sophie Giovanni. It flicked briefly to Kolkowitz there, but when Giovanni's points were added into the calculation, Sophie Giovanni is going to take that away. She's going to take away the top spot in the climbs competition. She had one fastest time through the segment as well. Kolkowitz has added a segment prize for the climb, but can she make this victory overall? That gap, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, heading maybe to 8 seconds. Shepherd, the nearest rider at the moment. Giovanni just distanced a little bit by Shepherd, but look at this.
Coming.
Karolina Kolkowitz is on the move now. Can Samara Shepherd? She's seen plenty of UCI banners in her time as a racer on the World Cup scene in the mountain bikes. I had the pleasure of calling her over the line there. She's really got to work, but look at Caramello coming. She's gone over the top of Shepherd and Giovanni. I think Shepherd now is in deeper trouble because coming up to the line, Karolina Kolkowitz, she's going to make this another victory. This will be a third time coming across the line. In first place, Karolina Kolkowitz, the winner of the April final behind Anna Caramella, almost closes her down. She takes away second place. Sophie Giovanni, I think, is going to take away third place there.
Shepherd in fourth.
Shepherd comes through in fourth place. What a run for the line. There's a little bit further down the course and not all that much further. Well, Mary-Kate McCarthy on her way up the climb.
Well, you know, we said it was going to be close in Category 2. 7.5 kilometres of climbing at the end of that race. And 4 seconds separated the top 4 riders in Category 2.
Karolina Kolkowitz in first, Sophie Giovanni in third, and Joanna Kalman in fifth. All ride for the Core squad. 3 riders in the top 5. No surprise to see Core being the top squad in Category 2. Meanwhile, let's jump down into our Category 1 race. McCarthy at the moment clear of a chasing Maria Holcroft. Holcroft on the way through the wedding celebrations that Mary-Kate McCarthy went to during the week. Clearly not impacting on her racing ability either, or she's still firing on the celebratory adrenaline as she was there enjoying herself, partying. Well, I'll tell you something, she's got a party for one at the front of the race. She's clear of Holcroft in second place, then Guerra in third, and then you can see Catherine Fua leading the charge behind. The distances between these riders. It's 200-300 meters. It sounds not a lot, but when you're on a climb like this, it is absolutely critical.
Well, Kate McCarthy goes underneath the polka dot banner. She's got 500 metres now till the end of the race. Maria Holdcroft, her teammate on Ablock International, 32 seconds back as McCarthy continues the charge to the finish line today for the April final. Guerra is in third place. All three of those riders riding solo at the moment. The pack is racing for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and the team competition overall. And boy, is it going to be close today. But McCarthy has led the charge on the Yebel Yace today. She just shows week in, week out her class on a climb. She continues to push and she continues the charge. But take a look at that. Maria Holdcroft has just set a faster time on the climb than McCarthy. But McCarthy sees the finish line.
Well, Kate McCarthy is back with a bang. She may have been beaten a couple of times this month, but I tell you something, she knows how to win and when to win. It's the April final of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. She goes underneath the banner, your winner, and the fastest time of the day to Mary Kate McCarthy, who comes through the line to take the race win here today to round out our race of victors. Behind it, it's the rider who beat her twice this month. As it's going to be a second place for the teammate of Mary Kate McCarthy, and it means Ablock International are going to put 1 and 2 down on the podium because first place going to Mary Kate McCarthy, a second place here today for Maria Holdcroft. A great month for her. Now, where are the rest of the teams?
Can I just say, the polka dot skin suit changing shoulders again. Gabby Guerra picking it up, and now it's flipped. Yet there it goes back on her shoulders as the other riders come underneath the banner. But Guerra looking for third place today.
And leading that Sweat Sensations team home, her teammate Catherine Fua and Kristen Kolczynski, who rise for Ablock International, are locked together as well. And those times are going to be key here. Guerra sprints away up to the line. We saw her riding strongly, taking away the climb segments earlier on. She's going to look to take away the win in the climbs competition, which she does behind. Kolczynski's trying to put some time gaps into Fua here to seal the win in the team competition for Ablock International. She sprints to the line. Fua comes up on a wheel. It's Kolczynski from Fua in 4th and 5th places. And that should seal the win in the team competition for Ablock International. But behind it's going to be close as we see Camilla Arberg on the ride, really, of the month for her. Brilliant racing by the breakaways rider Alberg, who comes in ahead of Maya, the Sweat Sensations third counter.
Well, can I just say, the riding and racing today, credit to Kristen Kolczynski. Long climb. Kolczynski does what Kolczynski does well, and that is climb and climb strongly. Fabulous to see her really up there, trying to pop into that top 3 again. Can't wait till we see Kristen Kolczynski back on one of those top 3 steps, and she is absolutely climbing her way to that position. Where Francesca Tomasi going to be coming through the banner shortly. She's going to take 8th place today in that category 1 competition. Tomasi putting in a phenomenal ride as well. Amelia Velt battling with Elise Gallegos behind. They're going to be battling for those remaining top 10 positions. Liz Van Hooling on the wheels as well. So these 3 riders now coming up. We've got 8th, 9th and 10th place waiting for them. Velt comes around the corner to the banner. She is probably, well, I say probably not, because Van Hooling and Gallegos are absolutely dialing this now. So Van Hooling coming up onto Veltz, going over the top. This is the run for the line.
Sweat Sensations versus Supernova versus Ablock International breakaways. Ablock have beaten Sweat Sensations in 1st and 2nd. Who's going to take 3rd and 4th in the team competition? Van Heuling comes in ahead of Velt. This is going to be critical, though, behind what's happening. Where is Tomasi? It's all going to be down to those 3rd counters. These are your top 10 riders all over the line at the moment, and you can see that Annette Caramella and Karolina Kolkowitz at the moment are our 8th and 9th riders over the line, with Sophie Giovanni in 10th, all in Category 2, as we await it updating the latest riders coming in Category 1. But Category 1, McCarthy taking the win, 59 minutes 36 seconds. She also led home the Ablock International to the team win. Maria Holcroft in second, Gabby Guerra in third place, leading the Sweat Sensations to second place in the team competition. The team competition 2 minutes 43 seconds in the end, separating Ablock International from the Sweat Sensations. In Category 2, you can see Cole Kolowitz going in over the line. She led her team to a race victory in Category 2 ahead of the Purebred Daisies. A 7-minute gap between them, but there was 20 seconds between second and third place in Category 2 between the Purebred Daisies and the Cycling District, and I think there were 5 seconds between the Cycling District and the Racing Rockets. It's absolutely packed down on all of the team competitions. Amazing racing. Emma, frantic week this week because it is the team finals as well here on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club. It's a busy week next week because I'm hoping that lots of people are going to be jumping on next week to come and race qualifier number 1. And we're going to see the return of Kath Tomkinson, apparently, which I can't wait to see. You've got a busy week. I know you were out. You put your longest ride for a while in last week. This week, are you back coaching again?
Summer's coming. Riding happens. Yeah, I am indeed. I am back on Monday lunchtime. We've got a recovery ride planned as normal on a Monday. We like to focus on a little bit of cadence as well, just to spin those legs out. What are you up to this week?
Well, this week I've got a little bit of playing to do, but I am going to hopefully be out on the bike and get some more miles in so that I can replicate some of the race efforts done by our riders today, which have been absolutely amazing. I want to finish off my climbing over the hills like they do, sprinting over the top instead of crawling over the top. That's my aim. This week, as well as watching the women's Liège-Bastogne and see how the UAE ADQ race plays out. Before that, though, we hope you're going to stick around to watch the men's race here on the Sunday Race Club. That is going to be coming up in about 20 minutes or so's time. So please do make sure you get yourself refreshed, rehydrated, and ready for the men's race that's coming. That's the women's racing done for this month. They will be back, like Emma Martin, who you can follow at biking_Emma, and myself, Matt Payne, at Matt Fixer Payne on social media. Make sure you give the channel a subscribe by ticking the box on YouTube, and of course, give MyWhoosh a follow at MyWhoosh on Instagram and on Facebook. We're going to take a short break, but from Emma and myself, we'll see you again shortly.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So hello and welcome back if you're watching the women's race, and welcome if you just join us for the men's race to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's our monthly final race in April. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here in the studios with Emma Martin. Emma, the women's race was an absolute spellblindingly barnstorming, non-stop action, and it was on a course that has got a big climb at the end, which you don't normally expect that to happen. Guess what? We've got the same again.
Of course, it's the final. Welcome to the Sunday Race Club, everybody. Welcome to the April final. This is the men's race, 45 kilometres of racing, 997 metres of climbing. They are heading to the Jebel Yais today. They come out of the start pen and through the Abu Dhabi sprint. There are 3 sprints in total before they hit the aquarium climb at 23.7 kilometres. It's 3.3 kilometres in length, 3% average gradient. They will battle to the top of that before they drop down the other side, and then the flat 2-kilometre run in to the 31-kilometre point on this course, which is the start of the Jebel Yais climb. 763 metres of climbing in total, over 13.5 kilometres. That's an average gradient of 6%. And when they hit that polka dot banner signifying the top of the climb, well, it's 500 metres till the UCI banner that is the finale of the race today. Back in the January final, Jason Osborne took the win in 71 minutes, 48 seconds. Will he do it again? Or will his own teammate, Michael Vink, pip him at the post? Because those two have been battling all month.
They have indeed. It's been a pretty frantic month with some interesting results and some surprising results in many of our race categories. 6 race categories as standard. So we have category 6, our standard category. We have 7 teams on the start list. So we've got 4 teams of 5 and 3 teams of 4. Our teams of 5, well, BMC6 have 5 riders. Skutab, Atruba, Llewellyn, Dvorak, and Yoko Bonus. Level Beginning also have 5 riders: Fielder, Smith, Brito, Hooker, and Teron. We've got the Spinergy team with 5: Dasson, Winfield, Abbott, Edmanuan, and Riley Milostic. I'm going to put the first name in for a reason. And ZTBR squad: Yarvin, Dotto, Farah, Vaz, Corva. Our teams of 4, well, we've got BMC Startup, Milano, Gomez, Rego, and Toro. We've got the BMC 6s, Schoberg, Olsen, Driscoll, and Yates. And Lost Amigos, Nilsson, Villada, Sharp, and Sebsa. Hopefully, we're not going to lose anybody on our start line as our riders leave and set off the first riders away in the men's race for the April finals, category 6. Up and racing, 7 teams, 17 prizes up for grabs. And
Sebsa is out front, leading the charge.
He's doing an Ange Quap.
Well, no, he's doing a Wojciech Sebsa.
Well, that's true. But it's almost identical to the start of the first of our women's races. It's interesting to see we get this kick off the line very, very early on as we make our way over the boardwalks here, because you're not going to win the race here, but you could be distanced and not be in contention from very early on.
Well, you could do indeed, and contention is where these riders need to be today. The team competition here in Category 6, I think 4 teams in the mix today. BMC Startup, Milano's had a 3rd and a 5th. Arago's had a 2nd. BMC 6, who took the win last month. Llewellyn's taken a win. Dvorak's taken a win and a 4th place. Spinergy, who took 2nd last month. Abbott's had a 5th place. Milostic's had a 4th. And ZTBR E-Cycling, Fabra's had a 2nd place as well this month. So for me, on current form, those 4 teams are in the but there is a little special shout out today to Tim Sharp from the Lost Amigos. He joined the Sunday Race Club in April. This is his first monthly final. Tim, have a great ride. Enjoy it. Those Lost Amigos, well, they're not going to lose you today.
No, they're definitely not. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see how Tim gets on today. Tim, no pressure, but we will be keeping an eye on you. Dum, dum, dum.
Hey, look at that UAE kit.
Well, good to see the UAE Team Emirates kit in action already today. I have, in the break between the women's and the men's show, taken a very quick sneaky peek at the Liège Bastogne.
Don't want to know. Don't want to know.
Not going to do any spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
I have watched a lot of cycling recently. This last week, that's been
Classic season.
It is classic season. My
Mountain
favourite
bike
part of it.
season.
Classic season. Flesh Wallone. I have to say, it belted it down with rain. It was grim. It was a classic season. As we see Tim Sharp on here, Tim Sharp, absolutely great to see that he's in the on camera shot as well. So definitely on the start line and racing. Going back to Flesh Wallone, St. Tadej Pogacar for the UAE Team Emirates took the win with a very last minute attack for him. He was actually goaded into the attack on the final climb by Julian Alaphilippe, but he's in action for on Liège-Bastogne-Liège, which is today. He's won it twice before. So Liège-Bastogne-Liège dates back to 1892.
That's older than you.
It's even older than me. I know, only by a few years. But he's taken a win in 2024. He's defending champion now in 2021. Good luck, Tadej. I hope you're going to be there. I hope you're going to inspire our riders. Maybe Antti Järvinen will be inspired. And I have
Look
to
at
say,
the inspiration wall.
that is a great inspiration wall at the side there. Emma, do you have an inspiration wall?
I do.
Do you?
I do, and I love it.
Okay. Is it what's it got on it?
It's got pictures of all the people I love to ride my bikes with, and it's got pictures of people I have ridden and raced with, and different race conditions, and different pictures, different places. And I look at it and I go, love it. Let's get on with it.
Excellent. Excellent. Great stuff. Great to see the inside there of the pain cave of Antti Järvinen, one of our squad of Finnish riders. There's quite a few people from Finland in and racing. That's the TBR squad. Although it's got two Brazilians in there, they've got two riders from Finland. You've also got somebody from France, Maxime Fabre, as well.
Yes.
So a real international squad. Lots of international riders in Category 5, our first step up from Category 6. 7 teams also in this. In fact, 50 teams in total in the men's racing. 7 of those are in Category 5. We've got 7 teams, all of 5 riders. So, from the top, BMC Get Racing, Kennett, Back, Motmans, Dabmans and Verham. The BMC High Five squad, and that's Mangino, Tortoretto, Fossier, Montoya, and Botero. The BMC Rule 5, well, that is Agadello, Gibson, Carvajal, Kittle, and Gonzalez. The Level Avengers, White, Roy, Pedersen, Warren, and Francis. Level Up, Rooney, Callingard, Cadabona, Gaviria, and Bertrand. The Level Warriors, Kakahal, Zemiel, Warren, Siddle, and Velada. And all those teams set off from the start line in the company of the Upcycle squad. That's Dromard, Lloyd, Pualaka, Mukhtari, and Mayard. Interesting that we've got 5 or 6 riders not on teams today, so they may change and mix things up as well.
Can I say, Category 5 for me is open wide. Open those doors, because 4 riders on the start sheets today have actually had top 5 finishes this month. Just 4. So Dylan Kennett's had 2 first places. Rider to watch, Dylan, I predicted you're going to make Category 3. You told me you'd be lucky to make Category 4. I think the way you're going, Category 2 is where you are headed eventually as you get fitter and fitter and faster. But Kennett is here. He's got to be the rider to watch today. Tom Van Ham has had a 2nd place. He's on that BMC Get Racing squad. They are the squad, I think, on monthly countback to watch, but I'm not sure monthly countback is going to count today in Category 5. I think everyone's just got to go in with an open view, no expectations, and just it's there for the taking. Justin Roy took a 4th place for the Level Avengers. Brian White is on that squad as well. Peterson, Warren and Francis, strong squad. They took the win last month. Level Warriors, Zimel had a 5th place this month. Carcahal, Warren, Siddle and Villada also joined them. Upcycle took 2nd last month. Can they step into that spot again today? Dromard Lloyd, you know, it's a strong squad. Xavier Mayard is in there. Mukhtari is in there. Pulaka is in there as well. You know, as I said, my view of Category 5 men, everything is free. Let's ride. And Brian White, I think you need to watch him. He could well be the rider that goes underneath that UCI banner first today.
Oh, I'm certainly in with the predictions. We've only got 2 of our categories out from the start line. And Brian White already being predicted for top spot here today. No pressure, Brian, if you're listening. But the expectation is now there. We will see if he can live up to Emma's expectations, or will he come crashing down? We will see.
nobody crashes down anywhere.
Well,
There
no.
are no sharp corners in real life here. They're all on static trainers. Did you not realise that?
Yes. I did. Oddly enough, in the 4 years of being here and the nearly decade on esports, yes, oddly enough, I have managed to work that out. It might,
Well,
I know I'm slow, but I'm not quite that
well,
slow.
I'll tell you, these riders are not slow today because Kavaria is in here, Lloyd, Bertrand Mamba is in here, Scott Francis in the mix as well, and the pack rolling and rolling strongly now. They're at 1.7 kilometres. The first sprint on this men's course coming at the 3 kilometre marker, and there is Mohammed Mukhtari. You can see him on the screen as well. Considered, composed, comfortably in the group. Currently zone 2 is the level he's riding at, so a steady pace.
Interesting to see, got the knee taped up there, so Mohammed, hope
Ooh.
all is well and it's not a serious injury. That's preventative rather than curative, and is going to not affect your racing today because Mukhtari has been racing very well indeed recently. I would agree with your assessment there, and definitely one to watch, particularly with that big climb coming at the end, but some tough racing before if the riders make it that way. And I think for me, that's one of the key things about this race route. If you're a tough cookie, you can go through this race really, really racing well. If you are a little on edge, not quite on form, today could be a tough day. So hopefully Mohammed is going to be up to the task today, and that knee will hold together. Good luck, sir. Let's move from category 6 to 5 to category 4. Our next set of riders away. Each of our groups are separated, of course, not just by ability, but also by the differences in their jerseys. The red jerseys, well, 10 teams today in category 4. Now, I'm hoping they'll get through this one smoothly because there's been a few changes. 2 teams of 5 riders, 6 teams of 4 riders, and 2 teams of 3 riders, which is the minimum. So every one of those riders has to finish. Let's do our teams on the way through. So BMC Racing have 5 riders. That is Cadiz Robinson, Pino, Spratt, and Giuliano. Our next team with 5 riders is in a fight. That is Elos, Bachansky, Kriwanos, Kirchner, and Barrett as well. Next team with 5, well, that's all our teams with 2 teams of 5 riders. Teams with 4 riders in, well, we are going to see a level racing that's have got 5 now. There you go, this is the extra 5. Level Racing has got Ben Kirk, Eben Schvort, Nicholas Hagland, and also going to have Luke Cridland and Luke Kendall setting off from the start line at the moment. The Mighty Duck squad is Geraldo Sicora Almeida and Horsley. On the Rivet Racing, 4 riders for them: Bulgarian, Hernandez, Arroyev, and Gonsolin. Peak Power have 4 riders: Van der Zandt, Squilari, Trujillo, and Rocker. Definitely one to watch there. The Salt Factory Racing team have 4. That is Cirillo, Pino, Abdebello, and Castro. And the Anzacs 4 riders as well: Quadrelli, Marin, Quiros, and Geraldo. The 2 teams with 3 riders that the pressure really is on. Dirt first: David Young, Yuan Yu Lin, and Christopher Fizia. And also the Level Ride Club Finland. All 3 of their riders have to finish too. James Mountier, Miko Rusumaki, and Sami Tuomi. Really interesting that they've got 3 riders and it's 3 to count.
Well, Boot Amma went straight off the front of the pack out of the start pen. They're 600 metres into the race, 42 kilometres an hour. The pack is rolling. One rider not able to go with the pace out the start pen just off the bat. You can see that on the top right-hand corner of your screen. A little emote there, loving the fact that the rider's obviously comfortable in the pack, able to give everybody a nice little wave, a good little thumbs up. Kirchner, Abello, all in the pack. Castro is there. Oh, Gonsolin is there. Ben Kirk is there. Trujillo is there. Luke Kendall in the mix as well. Dorvin Elos. There are some good riders in here. Not surprised, but there are. Arthur Skikora is also really strong from the Mighty Ducks. That's going to be interesting with Horsley, Almeida, and Geraldo. BMC Racing, well, Cadiz took a 4th. Spratt's taken a 3rd. They could go well today. On the Rivet Racing, Hernandez has had a 4th. Gonsolin's had a 3rd. Peak Power Racing have got to be the squad on form this month. Squilari's taken a win. Trujillo's had a 5th. Mason Rocker has had a 5th place as well. Henrik van der Zandt joins them as a team of 4. Those 3 teams are Michael.
Well, be interested to see how they go on. Level Racing's Nicholas Hagland on your screens on the left-hand side, and his avatar on the right. A graphic-filled, multicolour pantheon of visual treats on the right-hand side. And a very Spartan, clean racing environment. I've been in dentist surgeries that have looked more cluttered than Nicholas Hagland's White Palace there. It's a very, very clean look there. It has to be said on the left.
Clean space, clean mind. Clear space, clear mind.
Commentary desks.
Don't talk about commentary desks, because if you go by what our commentary desks look like, then we have very messy minds.
I don't. You speak for yourself. Mine's fine.
Is it?
It is a nice shot anyway. Just where I can see.
It's organised chaos. That's what Matt's brain is. Well, we've got Ryder.
Excuse me.
Just looking at your desk. Cadiz is there, Ronchetti is there in the mix. David Young is the rider we're in with at the moment. Again, comfortable in that pack. There he is on the screen, looking strong in his pain cave. The pack is rolling really well here at Category 4, but the riders in the draft, you can see that David Young, clearly his watts are green. He's in the pack, right positioning. Positioning really, really key. You can save so much energy being in the draft, sometimes worth 30, 40, 50 watts, depending upon what's happening on the course and in the race at that particular point in time. So energy management, learning to draft and using that skill and technique well, and knowing exactly how, where and when is what you need to do.
Let's dive in with Category 3. I had a whole load of things I wanted to say that, and I completely lost my train of. I ran out of time. Let's hope time doesn't run out for our Category 3 riders. We've got my maths right, hopefully I have this time around, 4 teams of 5 riders, 6 teams of 4, makes a total of 10 teams. So the Anzacs have 4 riders: Cardona, Oviedo, Rodriguez, and Dominguez. We've got the Aotearoa Alliance: East, Wojciech, Blinsky, and Brune. The BMC 3 squad with Ligo, Moreno, Batty, and Stevenson. The goal grabbers also have 4: Paradise, Lopera, Kalman, and Kochikov. We have got Take That with Stem Dido, Shed, Tidhome, and Ridley. And What's Up with Montoya, Sure, Rego, and Clay. So they're the teams with 4. They're at a little bit of a disadvantage as they leave the pens, because the teams with 5 riders, we have the Cycling District 3 squad: Montoya, Guarin, Andrade, Pierre, and Angarita. The Level Golden squad: Rushmer, Philo, Haggerty, Bakken, and Peterson. We've got the Sandstorm team of Sinclair, Gates, Becker, Fourier, and Fell. And Take This, not Take That, Take This. They have Oya, Sladik, Meyer, Kansara, and Karlstrom.
Well, while we're talking teams,
go on.
Did you know in March finals, Category 3 men, the top 4 teams were separated by 34 seconds?
How many teams?
4.
How many seconds?
34.
Next to nothing.
Let me tell you how this played out. So in Category 3, BMC 3 took the win last month. From What's Up Next, 7 seconds was the distance, was the gap for the win. Take That, 25 seconds back. Aotearoa Alliance, 34 seconds back. The goal grabbers were 55 seconds back. So technically, 5 squads, 55 seconds, but 4 squads, 34 seconds. What's going to happen in the April final? Well, we are going to find out in about the next 80 minutes. But
you just got quicker and quicker through that.
I can keep getting quicker. For me, and I've been dying to say this since I sort of was in the office yesterday looking at it, it's Take This from Take That. But
do you want to say that again?
Small things. Yes, it's Take This from Take That. Well,
life's ambition done. That Emma has now said that it's Take This from Take That. We are with Ivo Sure before Emma. We'll just let Emma revel in that moment a little while. Just in with Ivo Sure at the moment on your screens, and that heart rate 139 beats per minute. So working reasonably hard, I would imagine. just making sure that he doesn't drop too far back down this pack. None of our starts have been easy on the way out from our pens here today. The What's Up squad with 4 Rego, Sure, Clays, and Montoya. Clays is on form at the moment. You can't discount him. Sure, we know he's strong. Montoya can climb. Arego's doing what? Don't discount them from your take this, take that.
No,
take
I
whatever.
know. WhatsApp are good. WhatsApp are really strong. Level Golden, Rushmer, Theo, Haggerty, Backen rides really well and has been going on great form recently. Patterson is in there as well. And that's discounting the team who were first last month, which was BMC3, Largo, Moreno, Batty, and Stevenson. Batty should go well today because of that long, long climb.
And his teammate here, Johan Moreno, on the front, really ripping this up. This is a when we had 4 categories, and Johan Moreno was in category 2, riding for the Italian Espresso squad. This was a classic tactic by him to go on the aggressive moves early on to really shake the racing up and make it hard for everybody. He's got Henry East, another rider who wants to make that racing happen. Not content to be a passenger, he wants to be the train driver.
Well, while he's driving the train, East is absolutely motoring with Moreno, Orego, and Janie. Carol Sladek, who has been on superb form this month, he really has got racing on MyWhoosh dials. He took the win last week in Tel Marib, doing a sterling job here at the moment. He is going to be one to watch today. But look at Henry East, resplendent in that MyWhoosh jersey. I'd love a jersey like that.
Now, whilst you're speaking of jerseys, we've got our world champion already raced in the women's race in Mary Kate McCarthy. We've got a world champion coming up in Jason Osborne here to say that they are great jerseys. And I know you got excited in the break. I was busy looking at Tadej Pogacar doing a fanboy thing on the Liège-Bastogne-Liège, one of the classics. And I did like
I was doing a fangirl thing.
Were you?
I was taking a look at what Merle Bruni had been up to. So if you'd watched the women's race, we did discuss at the start, Merle Bruni wasn't on the start sheets today of category 1. She's normally part and parcel of that Sweat Sensations squad. And she wasn't on the start sheets today. I am going to give Walter Clays a heads up because he is on the start sheets and he is on our screen at the moment. And he too had a great ride last week. But back to Bruni. She wasn't on the start sheets today because she was at the 2025 World Triathlon Powerman Middle Distance Duathlon Championships in Germany. She was on that start sheet today.
Yeah.
And can I tell you where she finished? She's just taken another World Championship title.
So, riding on MyWhoosh on a Sunday normally, this Sunday goes and does the World Duathlon Championships and comes away with a win.
She does indeed. She is a multi-time World Triathlete Championship.
And they are normally on a, I think, long distance course.
Yeah, middle distance course today. She is a long distance specialist. Middle distance course today. So 10k run, 60k ride, 10k run.
And clearly racing on
top of the world.
Yeah,
That's
to the top of the world.
So
Fantastic
I was indeed doing fangirling in the break between the men's and the women's race today because I wanted to follow up and see how she'd done. She finished on the top step with that World Championship title.
So that means you were fangirling a women's world champion. I was fangirling a men's world champion in Tadej Pogacar.
Fanning. No, that's a different thing.
That's a different thing. That's the sort of thing that every rider needs to have at the moment. And we have seen people being fanned physically by a person rather than mechanically previously on the Sunday Race Club as well. I think we've gone down enough rabbit holes to fill a rabbit to make a rabbit warren over what we got to in the break in between. Meanwhile, the riders at the moment, they are at the moment in one big pack. It'd be a big rabbit warren for all these riders to fit in. So as the riders make their way down the course, our leading riders out on course. First riders way, category 6, they're currently at 13.8k. We have got the category 3 riders. They are currently at 4.5 kilometers. As you can see, all big groups. Remember today, individually, prizes available for the fastest through the segment and the sprints and in the climbs. We have our sprint competition overall across the 3 sprints. We have our climbs competition across the 2 climbs. We have the finish where it is the top 10 riders over the line who will receive prizes. And of course, we have our team competition as well, which is the top 7 teams in each race category. The best 3 riders' times to count. Now, talking of sprints, we're on our way into the sprint at the moment. In fact, we're well on our way through the sprint here at the Leeward Desert Sprint, as we see Category 5 going in and through, but this looks like a prolonged push on the front here. Kadabona Mukhtari going with Fossiad, but Fossiad, absolutely phenomenal legs on that one.
I mean, honestly, there is indeed, and the sprint's absolutely dialing it. And he does indeed take the fastest sprint in Category 5 through the Leeward Desert Sprint. But I just flicking back to the first sprint of the day, the Abu Dhabi Sprint, and I was just sitting here taking a look. So Fossey didn't win that sprint in Category 5. Joel Warren won the sprint in Category 5 the first time out. Warren from the Level Warriors, 1,200 watts he put out through the Abu Dhabi Sprint, but it has been beaten because 1,202 watts from Mason Rocker Category 5.
And that was Joel Warren rather than Ola Warren, yeah?
It was Joel Warren, yes.
So I'm just looking on the Leeward Desert Sprint, and I don't see Joel Warren. Now I'm wondering whether Joel Warren is sprinting outside of the group, maybe being distanced by the main group, saving his energy, and then waiting to push on through, because he's not yet, I've checked all 71 riders who've come through here, not yet gone through that point.
Wow. Okay, so we may well see that change.
We may, but it may be that Marius Fossier is not going to be taking that away as we go on the Abu Dhabi Sprint, the Leeward Desert Sprint, and the Future Museum Sprint. The 3 sprints today, all 3 sprints concluded by the time we've got just under 19k done. The first of our climb starts at 23.7 kilometers. That's the aquarium climb. And the start of the final climb, the Jebel Yes climb, that legendary climb in the UAE at 31 kilometers. It will be very interesting to see who is in contention as they come into that point in the racing as we move across to Category 2, our penultimate race category to leave the start. It is our biggest race field here today as well. Also has the biggest number of teams, 10 teams, tied with Category 3 for the number of teams. 8 teams of 5 riders, 1 team of 4, and 1 team of 3. So, Category 5 teams, first of all, Abus Esports, Carrot Hole, Van Hees, Simmons, Skierski, and Catazano. The BMC 2 squad have got Kalman, Kiesnowski, Skierski, Veles, and Betts. Cycling District have Heaney, Howeiler, Nuki, Klamut, and Danes. The Fast Guy squad have got Zari, as well as Gombert, Hansen, and Corrales. The Gloria Victis squad, Mundell, Björkland, Santo, Scholander, and Alan Jung. The Goat squad have both Khan and Bert Kane, along with Bjarhe Mendakowicz and Milostic, Peter Milostic this time. The squad from the Smarties team, the multicolored squad, are Bankston theme, Betty, Ritter, and Walter. And the Hitmen, Krasnich, Graves, Forster, Koistonen, and Nair. Team with 4 in is the Laguna squad. That's Downey, Morel, Vallejo, and Miller. Do not discount them because they've got 4. And our team with 3 who can never be discounted from the racing, the UAE clan team. And that is Mr. X100, Pablo Popovic, and SS down on our start list here today. And I've seen Mr. X100 and SS in. In fact, we're in with Mr. X100 at the moment, who we know we'll be really looking forward to that final climb, unlike many.
Yes, indeed. It is a big, long climb, 13.5 kilometers today. This team competition is going to play out in Category 2. Now, in Category 3, I started off by saying the top 4 teams had been separated in March by 34 seconds. The top 4 teams in Category 2 in March were separated by 31 seconds. So close is the racing. In fact, the top 5 teams were a minute apart. So let me talk about that. Category 1, number 1 team last month in March was Abus Esports. They took the win last month in the team competition. This month, Paul Skierski's taken the first place. Matthias Van He's taken the third. They are on form. Ospina and Cantazaro, part and parcel of that. Olivier Simmons as well. Now, 17 seconds back last month, it was the Hitman, Krasnich, Graves, Forsyth, Coinston, and Nair. This month, Forsyth's had a second. I think he's really coming into some form. Coinston's had a 4th. Nair's had a 4th. Graves has had a 5th. I think they are going to run this really close today. The Smarties were in 3rd place, 19 seconds back. Anders Bengston's had a 2nd place. Simon Walters had a 5th. Ritter, Betty, and Theme, strong squad. In fourth spot last month, it was the Goats, 31 seconds back. And Maciej Mendakowicz has got to be leading the charge from the Goats. He's had a first place and a third place this month already. This, for me, is about packing your riders tight. Ike Morel, he's been riding strongly, part and parcel of the team who were fifth last month, just a minute back. Can they go better this month?
Good question. Good to see Ika Morel in action. And Emma, how are you in two places at once?
Hey, look, there is Emma Doll. Hello, I'm waving to commentator Emma, but I'm from commentator Emma.
Yes, if you have not followed this on social media,
she's cheering him on at the side.
Indeed, you can either catch the real Emma at biking_Emma, or is it at Racing Shocks with an X on it for Ika Morel, where you will find quite often the crocheted version of
but
the
can
commentator.
We just say it was Rosa Herrera, who crocheted the doll.
I know, but Ika has been taking Emma on his travels.
He has. She's been all over. She's been to the beach at San Sebastian. She's met the MyWhoosh sponsored UAE team.
Are you feeling quite jealous?
Yeah, she's been all over the place.
She's got further than you have in the last few weeks.
Doll. I was thinking
you don't get let out of the studio.
I was
offices.
thinking we might have to borrow her and take her to some World Championship commentary events this year.
Well, you never ever know. Well, you never know. Might be going to the UAE to see the riders in action, to see and potentially meet some of these riders that we see in here in category and across all of our categories. Now, I'm just going to jump back to some of our sprints whilst we see this push on here, and one rider who is on there. In fact, I'm not going to go back to sprints. We're going to go to category 1 very quickly. Just going to say, Olivier Simmons is down on the start list and riding in category 2, and I thought he was not so good. He'd been a bit banged up. So if you are riding, Olivier, take it steady, young man, and recover properly. Okay, let's dive across from me playing dad here and go across to our category 1 riders. Now, these are our elite squads. They are the last riders to hit the start list. We have 6 teams here, 3 teams of 5. The Farm Watch squads with Andreas and Pucker, Noran, Harris and Plantero. Team Abus with Paradins, Hugo Molostic, Dont and Van Elston. The Wenger boys with Jacobs, Power, Peterson, Panitza and Mayer. 3 squads with 4 riders. Alpha Joe, Talbot with Justin Kaminsky and Jones. Boss Moves Only, world champion Jason Osborne, along with Knudsen, Vink and Safra Zadie. And the Union of Speed squad, Nico, Gednes, Lewis and Kroll. Away we go. It is the final wave of riders out from the start. Away here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club on our April finals. All of our riders now leaving the pens, and our category 1 riders, the last group to be set free, to be released onto the course to cover the 45 kilometers to ascend 997 meters, including that phenomenal climb of the Jebel Yates. We don't do the full 27.5 kilometers of it, but we do what is a very tough 13.5k.
Well, Stefan Van Elst in the middle of that pack of yellow jerseys rolling out of the pen. Jacobs is there, Kroll, Safra Zadie, Plantero is there, Power, Dont, Osborne is in the mix. Hayden Pucker is there. The riders all rolling strongly. Take a look at the Alpha Jaw squad and Vujasin, Kaminsky. Look at those jerseys. Ollie Jones, not in team kit today, but you know what? We can forgive him because
he's got team shorts on.
He has got team shorts on. He's a class rider, and they all are on our screen today. Vujasin always has a look of real concentration on his face. I'm not saying Mikhail Kaminsky is always looking a little bit more friendly and a little bit more waving, but it is early
yes, you
doors.
Are.
Early doors in the race at the moment.
Do you know what? The difference between them, I think, is in the camera angle, not in their
I
intensity
agree
and
with you.
focus. I
I
think it's
agree
all
with
to
you.
do with camera
But
angle there.
3 world-class riders on that Alpha Jaw squad we've just seen on the
Well,
screen,
there's
joined by David Talbot.
another world-class
4
rider.
world-class riders. But what I really love about that squad, and they are an ever-present squad, and the riders do not change on that squad. They are a real team. And we see them week in, week out, month in, month out on the Sunday Race Club. And those riders, as you saw by their flags, from around the world riding together as a strong team on the Sunday Race Club regularly.
It's great when you get to ride with a group. And ride with a group of riders regularly and a team of riders. I have to say, when I was racing on teams, I absolutely loved that team spirit, that cohesion. But sometimes it's nice just to mix it up and ride independently. And I think that can make a real difference. You get that little bit of freedom to do what you want when you want, and it's nice. But give me a team, give me a club anytime.
Well, can I tell you? So let's take a little look at the
Oh,
teams. Oh, no, let's not,
let's
because
not.
Michael Fink has put an attack in. Somebody tell him it's only 1.8 kilometres into this 45-kilometre race. This is not normal for Michael Vink.
Have you had too many espressos, Michael? What's going on? This is an incredible kick off here, and I tell you something, he's taken his teammate with him. That's Jason Osborne. They are. Do you know what? For me, is really interesting. I mean, you said earlier on in the show that Jason Osborne won here last time we were on this course.
Yes.
He also holds the course record for the KOM as well this year, set on the 26th of January in that final, 27 minutes 36 that time on the Yebel Yace. Those two riders are very, very strong.
Well,
and they're backed up by Knudsen and Safrasedi,
who are also very, very strong.
Who are incredibly strong riders. And for me, they are almost impossible to beat unless the wheels fall off the wagon, quite literally. You know, they are almost impossible to beat. So I don't see the need to rip the racing up early, unless one of them's like in a rush to get somewhere.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with you.
I don't think they need to. I think they can wait a little bit longer.
Well, maybe, but
I'm not complaining.
Who wants to wait when you can animate a race?
They've not shaken anyone loose. It may be that they just wanted to stretch the legs. It may be that they were looking to see who responds first in the chase.
I mean, and that's it, isn't it? You know, an attack off the front is not always about winning the race. An attack off the front can be just that, a little information escapade in terms of reading who comes after you and seeing who's going to respond and what teams are going to move and which teams are going to sit. Now, boss moves only. This month, Osborne's taken a win. Knudsen's had a third. Vink's had a first and a second. And Safrazadi's had a third and a fifth. They've got to be the team on form. I say that, but Alpha Jaw, Talbot, Vujasin, Kaminsky and Jones, really, really strong. But all the teams here are strong. And yet again, we've got another push on the front. And we are so early in this race at the moment. But Mikhail Kaminsky in that green skin suit now in the sprint competition. Interesting move that, but take a look. Kaminsky from category 1 picking up that green skin suit. Bjarhead in category 2. Van Urk in category 3. Spratt in category 4. Warren in category 5 and Hooker in category 6 through that Abu Dhabi sprint, that first of 3 sprints. Picking up the segment, the sprint competition overall, obviously, the 3 sprints added together.
Fastest time, Rick Van Urk. He's taken 2 sprint jerseys overall in his races on MyWhoosh, and he's only raced 12 in total. So clearly a good sprint from him again, going in and through. Meanwhile, going across to category 2, just on this slight rise here. This is a Jakob Björklund who's accelerating up SS quickly into pursuit. Betty Mendakowicz, Simmons moving quite quickly behind him. And I agree with you what you said there about it's not always about putting a move in, attacking just to make the attack. It's often about seeing who responds and how they respond. But there are other reasons as well. I was watching really interesting in the last stage of the Tour of the Alps, where the team from Tudor put in an attack and they had a rider up the road. And then their overall race contender made the move across, and they put an attack in deliberately to station the rider up
Yep.
the road, so he could then work. And he did. He worked for him, and then his socks literally fell off, and then you saw the push.
We'd have liked to have seen
Oh,
that.
honestly, it was like somebody threw an anchor out behind him, and it embedded itself in the road when he came off
Well,
the
I
front.
tell you something.
And that move, putting someone down the road in a break, in a gap, to allow your overall contenders to come up, is another reason. And there's so many. That's what's great about racing. You see these moves. I mean, we've seen Jakob Björklund. He's gone up the road here on this little bit of a push here, and he's really gone hard. And everybody's having to respond now. He's drawing out riders here. It's making it hard for everyone.
Well, Krasnich, Van He, those riders coming across. Simmons is there. Abus Esports riders, that team we said took the win last month in Category 2. They're marking the moves. Marking the moves is what they're doing, but not, how shall I put it?
In words? Sorry.
Now you nearly made me laugh, and I forgot about what I was going to say. You really shouldn't do that. Ospina bets Gozari towards the back of that group, but Pucker Van Elsfu Yassin as we drop back in with Category 1. And let's just say the first 5 kilometres of this Category 1 race have not been steady. They've been continually animated, and surprisingly so from Vink. We saw that move at 1.8 kilometres into this race. He was instrumental in that first attack, and it's looking like we're seeing pushes. Then the group concertina back together again, then a little stretch. Safrazadi, for me, put in a fabulous race last week to take 3rd place. I thought that was a great race. Tugels and Panitza as well, 4th and 5th last week. Again, great racing. But yet again, Michael Vink takes a dig and pushes on the front. We talk about team tactics. This has got to be team tactics, because take a look at who's marking the front of the group. Jason Osborne.
I'm going to give you another reason to do this. Got to remember that the racing isn't something separate to training. Racing is part of that training improvement. If you have too easy a race and you are banking on that racing as being one of your high level efforts to improve, then you need that race. And that, you look at this, you look at Fink, you look at Osborne. They want they want this to improve. They don't want to just race the race. They want to use it to improve, so they're even better next week and the week after that as well.
This is really interesting. Vink and Osborne are on the same team. Michael Vink keeps putting in an attack. Osborne sits on the front of the group for a short period of time. Nobody else responds, so Osborne closes the gap to his own teammate.
Does he close the gap, or does he try and bridge across and jump across and not take anything with him?
Well, that's not working.
That for me is the question, because if you are trying to jump across the gap, that's going to be critical. Now, one rider, Ricardo Panitza, on our screens at the moment. Good to have Ricardo in here. He's part of that Wenger boys squad. Jacobs, Power, Peterson, Panitza, Mayer. They've got a strong squad overall, and they're quite well matched in terms of ability, in terms of racing here.
And Ricardo Panitza has been having a really good month. He took 5th place, as we were just mentioning last week, on Tel Marib. 532 metres of climbing on that course. 997 metres of climbing on this course today. What can Panitza do today? Johan Noren climbing strongly as well at the moment. He really is a strong climber. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because that main climbing doesn't really start till we get to that 31-kilometre marker. Look at that!
Another go, another dig. It's Michael Vink on the dig again. Now, this is coming into a rise. So this means that he knows he's going to be coming into the rise. You can see that top right-hand side of your screen. The red line is on there. Vink goes. Van Els responds this time. And it's Van Els chasing him down, because you can see as soon as he got to his wheel, he eased off. He didn't want to go on to the front and lead this clear. He's not wanting to go at 15 watts per kilo up this climb.
So for me, this course, okay, we've got 13.5 kilometres of climbing at the back end of this course today. Everybody is going to look at this course and they're going to go, this is perfect for Jason Osborne and Michael Vink. They both love long climbs, because it's both just in their skill set. And it's also in Jeff Rooney's skill set, I can tell you that, in Category 5 as well. He's a man who loves long climbs. Regular Everester, loves a long climb. But just going back to that Vink Osborne element.
Yes, go on.
The rest of that Category 1 pack will know how strong those two riders are. So they are going to want to keep their energy dry as long as possible, knowing that that final climb is going to be an absolute battlefield and that the potential for those two riders to go clear. Now, Fink and Osborne have thought about it. They've got Safrazadi, they've got Knudsen, they've got two strong riders who will climb strong as well. But they've got a whole pack of riders who won't want to do anything until the climb. So how do you shake it up? You start attacking. The best form of offense
Is offense.
is offense.
Okay. Yes, I think there were so many mixed metaphors in there I lost count. So, okay, never mind dry energy. So I got what
Dry energy?
That's what you said, keeping your energy dry. I think you might have meant keeping the powder dry or conserving energy, but I like the fact it's conglomerated together.
It's
now,
a mush.
It's well, it can't because it was dry. So let's jump across. Just watching category 6 and category 5 whilst Emma just disintegrates on the other side of the studio by stupidity. Just interesting to see that the riders now onto the aquarium climb. Proven instrumental, seeing an attack in category 6, seeing category 5 starting to get broken up. Category 2 are not leaving it long either. They're making it tough. Krasnich, Fawcett, Coyston, Graves now on the front here. Ika Morel also doing the same here. And very interesting to see Josiah Betty responding. They're currently at 12.7k. They have got a long way to go until they hit the start of the time. Still more than 10k till the start of the aquarium climb. But already things starting to get spicy and really trying to put people in trouble. Fawcett out of the saddle in person, left-hand side of your screen. Sat down smooth, right-hand side of your screen. And Fawcett at the moment, I think, wanting to keep the pressure on these riders on this little bit of a climb.
Yeah, I agree. And I think he's one of the riders to watch today. He really is coming into some superb form. Fawcett on the front, Tati Coinstonen on his wheel. Now, Coinstonen, part and parcel of Fawcett's squad. So part and parcel of the Hitmen squad. Krasnich also there as well. He is also in that leading group. So is Phil Graves. Zach Nair as well.
Team
the
attack.
Entire Hitmen squad is in that bunch up the road and they are continuing to attack. They've got 5 riders in that leading group and it's going to be attack after attack after attack from those teammates to try and go clear. This is a concerted team tactic.
If that team can get off the front and get that gap, they all need to work now. And they need to work hard. They need to get on the wheel. You know, the 4 riders, Coyston and Graves, Krasnich, Fawcett, they're the riders behind. Get on the wheel of Zach Nair and get your finger out and get down the road. You are putting everybody else in trouble. You know all 5 riders are going to work. You're going to make everybody else behind work their socks off. This is doing some serious. There are going to be some really, really sore legs. Is it splitting?
Well, there is a split in the group at the moment.
It
so if you look on the top right-hand corner, this attack from the Hitmen is doing its job because it's forming fractures in the group. The stretch and tail. Take a look at the stretch and tail there.
Look at the gap.
There's damage being done, and there's a gap in the middle of that, and you can see it on the top right-hand corner of your screen, and you can now see it in the shot clearly. There's a lot of riders here panicking at the moment.
If you're in that front group, you need to drive and drive now. If you're in the back group, you need to get on the back of that front group or you are in major, major trouble. This is a decisive moment. This is where the shots be fired. The question's been asked. Will it be answered? Can this front group, are they going to take advantage of this? Will they have the tactical race awareness to know what's going on? It was a blatant tactic to try and shake clear by that squad of the Hitmen. Will they have got it on target or will they miss by a mile? I think they were on target in what they were doing. I'm not sure that the effect has really taken full effect yet because I think we've got everybody, almost everybody, back together again.
Bar one.
Let's see if they can do that again. Can they do this time and time again and really make this hard? Master tactician Zach Nair on the move, on the front. Now we're going to drop across with former world champion Bjorn Andreas, and a man who did a solo attack to take his world title. He was clear at the front and had a watch back of that just the other day. Really interesting to see. He's got Norrin with him. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And those two are teammates on the Farm Watch squad. Clear team tactics again at play. Andreasen and Norrin going clear at the moment. Vink now coming to the fore of the group behind. Tugels is there as well. Really, really interesting, the dynamics here on the Category 1 race in this men's race on the Sunday Race Cup. This is the April final. Bjorn Andresen gets up and out of the saddle again. We can see him on the bottom left of the screen, continuing to push, continuing to drive. His teammate Johan Noren is with him. Michael Knudsen now from Boss Moves Only coming across to bridge the gap, making sure they've got one in the break. If the break goes, exactly what you would expect from the team. But Joel Lewis, one of the riders, now trying to close the gap down as well.
So at the moment, that push has come on the front, and Knudsen starting to attack here, really starting to put the pressure on. He wants to pull a little bit of a group clear, but the bunch behind are massing behind him, and I think they're going to come back onto his wheel. This is a bit of a two-stage climb that they're on. There is still plenty that can play out there. Meanwhile, front of Category 2, and it is the front of a very long group. More and more riders are feeling the pace, feeling the pressure. It didn't necessarily work on the very first attack, but it is braking, going over the top of that climb, and then the pickup in speed. It has driven the wedge that had been inserted home. It has widened the gap between the leaders and the chasers, and this is what they're looking to do. Really eliminate a large number of riders. I was taking a little look at the teams in here who are fighting it out against each other. Really interesting the way these teams are running and who is doing what and who is responding. And there's a lot of team tactics in who is chasing the teams on the front now. In with Betty at the moment. Josiah Betty, if this was an individual race, you would not be betting against him overall. But because he's working as part of a team competition as well, I think that is changing how riders are racing, and it's making life hard unless you are in the team that sets in the running.
Well, it's even harder when you're in the team setting the running, and that's what it's
but at
supposed
least
to
you
be
know
like.
it's coming.
Well, that is very true. You're
Smarty
executing
squad.
the plan. But there is a lot of plans in this race, and at the moment you can see the damage it's being done. So whilst we saw that group stretch and come back together again, we've now seen groups start to get dropped. So as the effort continues to come on to this pack, and Ross Fawcett is just continuing to dial it on the front at the moment. Maciej Mendakowicz picking up the charge at the moment. So the other teams now coming through and ensuring that the pace stays high, because they see that the tactic is working. They see that the group is getting smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups now on the road in this Category 2 race. It's attack after attack after attack.
And we often see Maciej Mendakowicz really put a big push on. I'll tell you something, the other good way of working, an interesting move here by Maciej Mendakowicz, push over the top of the climb. So if you're in a climb, in a group, as you're coming towards the top of the climb and you're starting to feel it in your legs, one of the things to do is to push that little bit harder over the top, get the gap onto the flat, which gives you some breathing room to get a little bit of recovery before the group comes in and pushes hard again. If you're in the group, because you haven't chosen when you're pushing, you can find yourself in trouble with that push after. So if you're one of those riders that knows you're going to need to take a breath, go harder, slightly harder earlier on at the very end of that climb, instead of having to wait and then push further over the top with the group who might just accelerate that bit harder. So really interesting move there, really interesting positioning there by Maciej Mendakowicz. Chasing the leader down, Mr. X100, Patrick Stepanek, SS, Catanzaro, Alan Young, all in the mix here in Category 2, all right around the very front of the race. And the way this group is splitting, the way that these gaps are opening, you cannot afford to be too far back. You're the wrong side of a split, you're going to have some serious work to do. Now let's jump across from Category 1 and 2 to Category 4, because Nick Squilari, the moment out of the saddle there, just putting a little bit of a kick down. He wants to go with the group. He doesn't want to lead this out over the top of the climb. He's right at the front in this leading group, and there are riders who have been distanced on the aquarium climb. The riders in Category 5 went over the top with Justin Roy leading. The riders in Category 6, when they went over the top, it was Petter Otruba who went over the top first. This time round, the fastest time is going to be Ryan Giuliano, who goes over the top right in contention with Quadrelia Bachansky. Rocker, but look at the damage that could be done. Sprint now, get clear, work over the top, and you're going to go well. Mason Rocker does that. The American rider starts to stamp on those pedals. Nick Squilari is going after him here. If they keep the pace high, they could break away and they could distance, maybe 10, 15 riders off the back. The pack that you can see is by no means the end of this long string of riders. They're in ones and twos behind. There are lots of people who could be in trouble.
Well, Rocca Squilari and Trujillo are all part and parcel of that Peak Power racing squad, and the Peak Power is what they're showing at the moment to stretch this group, and they're continuing to attack on the downhill and continuing to push and break that group. They're desperate to ensure that the 32 riders that went over and through that polka dot banner at the top of the aquarium climb in contention do not stay in contention for long. Well, the first category of racers on to the Yebble Yace today are category 6, and you can see it's still a big group of riders at the 31.7 kilometre marker. Corva is the rider on the front of the race. Well, on the front of category 1, it's Michael Vink yet again with an attack. Jason Osborne covering the front of the group.
And you can tell he's covering rather than chasing by the amount of watts per kilo that are being kicked down by him. And he's just got swamped on the front. Riccardo Panizza leading the chase. Twice the Italian mountain bike champion. He knows how to race. He knows how to respond to moves. He's been to the Olympics as a Paralympic pilot back in 2016 in Rio. Definitely an experienced rider, and you would expect to see him moving up there, covering those moves. They've got a way to go, though, until they reach the climb, because we're now into the climbing category 5, and I love that wave.
Well, I was wondering whether they're waving for Fred to say hello, good to see you, or they're waving because I'm about to go. This is signaling my attack.
Well, that's my usual thing. See you at the top of the climb, because I know that everybody else is going to get there before me. So, Ola Warren, the rider that we're in with at the moment, this is a huge, huge pack of riders. It is fractured behind this group, and there are gaps starting to open and riders being distanced. But as we said regularly, and you're probably a bit tired of hearing us say, but we're going to say it again anyway. If you're watching the women's race, you will know that this is all about every rider, wherever they are in the race field, riding to the finish as fast as they can. Every single second can matter, can count for your team, whether you're racing for first or second place in your category or sixth or seventh place. There is still a prize differential. Now, back in with category 1, who need to get their act together pretty sharpish. They've lost a Vink down the road. Lionel Vajasin leading the chase here. In fact, having picked up the sprint jersey here as they go through the 18.7k marker. That means he is going to take away the win in that sprint competition. The fastest rider through that particular sprint was, in fact, Christoph Kroll of the Union of Speed squad in terms of category 1 riders, the fastest overall. Well, that honour goes to Nicholas Spratt, but very close times across the board there from category 1 to category 6. Category 1, Kroll, 2, Bjarhead, 3, Van Erck, 4, Spratt, 5, Warren, and 6, Hooker.
Well, category 1. You can see Jason Osborne's World Championship jersey in the pack. He's marking the front of the group. Panizza, Lewis, Dont, Pucker, Plantero, Talbot, Knudsen, Jones, Vujasin, all in that group. The greenskin suit of the sprint competition sits on Lionel Vujasin's shoulders at the moment in that group. That's an interesting move.
And done and dusted. Done and dusted, distance they've covered. There's no more sprints to come. It's his. Well, unless there's somebody sprinting from behind that we don't know about. But I think,
know.
Well, for me, the problem is the speed of the group is very difficult to answer. Now, going back to category 2, we have a solo attacker, SS, doing a Vink, or is Vink doing an SS? On the attack, aggressive racing from both riders at the moment. SS has a 10-second gap to Ross Fawcett. 15 seconds to Olivier Simmons. So one chaser behind in the shape of Fawcett. This is the category 2 race. They're at 22.4k for SS, who's leading. He's on the right-hand side of your screen. So the blue hat that has been SS's trademark for the last 3, if not 4 years, is there. And then the blue bike underneath, the neon bike as well. Left-hand side, not quite so neon blue, but it is Ross Fawcett there with the red helmet on, blue shoes and socks. He's currently in no man's land at the moment because he's been chased down. Simmons is coming, so is Catanzaro, Utkin, Graves, Skierski and Co. The bunch is going to come onto his wheels. I think Fawcett must surely realise there's no point pushing. Let that group come a little bit closer. But at the moment, 22.7k in. And remember, this is just a precursor to the aquarium climb that starts at 23.7 kilometres.
Well, a precursor, a little warm-up, and a amuse-bouche.
That would be one way of putting it. I think it would leave a bad taste in my mouth if this wasn't included in the climb of the aquarium climb, but it's not. I always think climbs should start at the bottom, and if there's no more descending,
end at the top.
Yeah, if there's no descending, you should start with the very bottom, not start the climb part way up the climb. That's, as I say, well, that's just mean.
Well, that's life.
That's life. Oh, no, I better not sing, can I?
No, please don't.
No.
So Olivier Simmons is the rider we're in with at the moment. On the front of this pack of Category 2 riders, you can see we've got riders down the road already. This is a chase group.
You're looking at me like I'm going to sing again.
No, it was you were huffing and puffing.
That's because I've just been told off for singing.
Good.
And I never sing anyway.
Okay, well, Phil Graves, Mark
Thank
Santo,
goodness.
Anders Bengtsson, Paul Skierski, Simon Walter, all in this group. Jakob Bjorklund is there, Matthias Van He, X100, Maciej Mendakowicz. Yes, I am naming every single top-class Category 2 rider. They are in the group. They are in the mix. They have made the selection. And that is the polka dot banner. They are about to start the climb of the aquarium. That's the polka dot banner. The first main climb of the day, the first climb that will award the polka dot skin suit. Category 2 are there.
And Category 1 are not far behind. Well, at least one rider. That is Michael Vink on his way. It is a Category 1 rider who holds the fastest time up the aquarium climb. The aquarium climb fastest time is, do you know who the course record holder is at the moment?
For 2025 or for the whole
in 2025,
life?
fastest in 2020. No looking at me notes, that's cheating. You're one of those people who looked over the desk at school, weren't you?
Oh, no, I didn't. Absolutely not. Don't do cheating.
Right. Should hope not being a thinking professor.
My nan instilled in me from early age she would not play drafts with anybody who cheated.
I thought you were going to say
she used to walk away.
And quite rightly so. Who's got so in 2025, who holds the fastest time up the aquarium climb?
Van Elst.
Nope.
Who?
Tonka again.
Osborne.
Nope.
Fink.
Nope.
Knudsen.
Yes. Fourth time of asking. Michael Knudsen holds the record set on the 20th of the 4th, which I think was qualifier. No, it must be qualifier 2 in April. 20th of the 4th, 2024.
20th of the 4th was last week.
Was it?
Yes, when Knudsen took the climbing competition over in Category 1.
There you go, fastest. It was a different race route, though.
It was a different race
So
route, but we were on the same climb. You were getting confused. I can't help that.
Situation normal. Right, okay, what is quite confusing is the fact that Mr. X100 at the moment is just tapping along on the front here, and he's holding position. He's got a difficult choice to make here. His teammate SS is up the road by 27 seconds, nearly 30 seconds. You can see him on the right-hand side. The UAE clan team with 2 riders to the fore. Now, I haven't seen Pablo Popovic on the start. Oh, sorry, I saw him on the start list, but not on the entry and not on our screens. And I suspect that they are now having to go race because they don't have a team eligible for the team competition. And we know that they're going to race every single week anyway.
But this is doing exactly what Jason Osborne was doing to the Michael Vink X100, monitoring the front of the group, making sure the pace is controlled, not chasing, allowing his teammate to get a move down the road and to try and sit on and shut down any of the moves from behind.
Knowing that he can climb really well on the final climb. Because both Osborne and Mr. X100, I would argue that Osborne is a better long big climber than Vink on the Ebelyes, and I would argue that Mr. X100 is the better long distance climber than SS. on the final climb. And that means that they've got riders down the road who are maybe not going to climb as well, getting the time buffer, get the two together. You can do what I was talking about in the Tour of the Alps. Get two riders and send them away up the road, and it'll be of the benefit to both riders.
Well, who knows that the team tactics weren't decided whilst watching the same race you were watching yesterday? Well, Carl Ken is another rider in Category 2 who has also been riding really strongly, and good to see him in this front group there on the screen, and tightly in that pack and tightly in the group. And you can see now a good distance between this leading group where Ken is and the chase group in Category 2. So Bengtson, Velez, Holweiler, Van He, Simmons. Oh, Daniel Mundell is in there as well. That's a rider that has joined Category 2 in the Sunday Race Club fairly recently. So Bengston, Downey, all of the riders in the pack, they are chasing this rider. SS now at 30 seconds, coming around the corner here on the Aquarium climb, 26.2 kilometres, and 24.6 is where Michael Vink is. He's coming into the base of the Aquarium climb, leading the charge in the Category 1 race, like SS in the Category 2 race. And the time gap is not that dissimilar. Stefan van Elst leading the chase group in Category 1 at 24 seconds. Olivier Simmons leading the charge in Category 2 at 22 seconds. So the time gap's fairly similar, but the gap closing to SS on the climb. The group have pulled back around 10 seconds. Will the group pull back Michael Vink, or will Michael Vink stay clear in Category 1? I think it's going to be a long way till Vink has company, maybe not even until the end of the race today. Because you know what? When your rider goes down the road, it may well be a tactic about supporting the riders from behind. But if that rider gets a big enough gap and is able to stay clear, well, then it's all about that lead rider.
And SS is an aggressive rider, and it's good to see him back to the form that we know that he has had in the past. He really has carried that through this month, and he's shown he's back to his best, which is really, really good to see. Mr. X100, his teammate, we know on form as well, and it means that Betty Krasnich, Nair, Ritter and co have all got to answer the move up on the front here. In terms of teams in Category 2, going to be really interested today to see how the cycling district team go on today. They're right up in my mix of riders. Heaney, Howeiler, Newkey, Clement and Dainies. They could be a surprising... I'm not sure they'll take the top spot, but I wouldn't discount them from a top 3 in the team competition, and maybe a top spot. But
it's all about who has made this top group.
Yes.
And I can tell you very shortly who has.
Well, I'm going to let you do counting and checking whilst we see them go up over the top. It is Masip Mendakowicz who has the fastest time on the climb overall. The first rider through was SS, but as we know, he got a gap going into the climb. The gap down to 18 seconds as they come over the summit here, and Mendakowicz now clear at the front. So Masip Mendakowicz with the fastest time through that segment. He'll have that polka dot skin suit to defend as they come in to the final climb, which will be that Jebel Yates climb, which is 13.5 kilometers. Now, Emma, sounds like you've got some interesting, entertaining and amusing information for us.
Well, only about amusing. I'm 37 riders still in this leading group in Category 2. We said
that is quite amusing because that's a lot of riders.
The group, but we had 53 riders on the start line today in Category 2. 37 riders now. We've seen attack after attack after attack. We've seen group split. We've seen multiple riders go off the back. We are up over the top of the Aquarium climb at 28 kilometres of this 45-kilometre race. The group now at 37 riders. Leading the charge, Masip Mendakowicz is now in that polka dot skin suit. Jakob Bjorklund took the second fastest time. Ika Morel is there. Zach Nair, Ross Fawcett, Olivier Simmons, Carl Cairn, Matthias Van He, SS, Stuart Miller, Christophe Thiem, Tord Allenjong. Bert Cairn is there as well, Frederick Gombert. I could just keep going on because there's 37 riders in that group, but it is phenomenal. The attack after attack after attack we've seen in Category 2, and the quality and size of that field's still there.
Well, One rider clear in category 2, a 27-second gap brought down to 18 seconds as it went over the top. Michael Vink's lead at the moment is 12 seconds from Bjorn Andreas and Jakob Panitza Knudsen, all holding within quarter of a minute. You can see them in that big bunch behind. Vink will go over the top first. He's not going to have the fastest time. His lead has diminished as they've gone up the aquarium climb. He'll go underneath that banner first. Bjorn Andreasen here on an absolute charge to get in and over the line. Will he be able to take away that polka dot skin suit from Michael Vink? I think he will. Will he be able to hold on to the polka dot skin suit? That is another matter. Kroll, Panitza, Jacobs, Osborne, Knudsen all come in and through, and he's lost it.
To Safrazadi.
Say Safrazadi with the fastest time up that climb. That's a good move and gets him 5 points in the bag. It's confirmed on our screens, a 5-minute 15 ascent. 5-minute 15 ascent of the climb gives you an indication just how fast he has gone up there. That is a phenomenal move by him.
It is indeed. Simon Betts in category 2 sets the fastest time there. Adam Stenman, category 3. Ryan Giuliano, category 4. Justin Roy, category 5. And Petter Truba, category 6.
So you can see they are the winners of that segment. Each of those riders will be taking away a prize for the fastest in and through that segment. Now, just in watching Jason Osborne dive onto the front of this group at speed, he knows he doesn't want to let the chasers go too far down the road in pursuit of Michael Vink. They're the last group of leaders on the road. These are the first group of leaders on the road here today. And really interestingly, this is mostly riders from category 6, with the exception of a certain Brian White, who I think is in the mix. In fact, these are the chasers. Maxime Fabrin here. We do have one rider, I think, up the front, if not two, who are a couple of seconds up the road. In fact, it's going to be more, because here comes Brian White. Well, that was a good prediction by Emma.
Before they left the start pen. Brian White doing the business here on the climb today, the rider from the USA. Let's not forget the time of day.
He's going to go into the lead.
The time of day, the riders from the USA race. The women, you know, it's 1:30, 2 a.m. in the morning. The men, it's more like 3, 3:30, 4, depending upon where they are in the States. White doing an outstanding job as he takes the head of the race overall. He's leading the category 5 race. He's got a group of category 6 riders behind him, but Brian White now at the head of the race. It's a category 5 leader. He's come past the entire category 6 field, who left the start pen 5 minutes before him. The category 6 riders now pushing on behind is Dvorak, Toro and Korver, who are the riders. Dylan Kennett, the closest rider to Brian White, with Ricky Kittle. Those two riders sat in 2nd and 3rd place. They are 26 seconds back and climbing strongly. There's then a big group between them and the riders in 4th, 5th and 6th. But it is Brian White riding clear of the category 5 group. The question is, how long can he stay clear? He's got 21 seconds at the moment at the 37.3 kilometre marker. He has 7.7 kilometres to go.
Well, he's got to hold on. He's got to keep in position. He's got to stay clear. I'll tell you something, it doesn't look like he's slowing down much at the moment. We're just going to drop back in with category 4 here, who are also onto our final climb. Remember, the finishing line is at 45 kilometres. The finish of the climb segment at 44.5, some 500 metres before. At the moment, Nicholas Spratt in that green skin suit of sprint leader is leading this group of Rossi Maki, Squilari, Gonsolin, the polka dot leader Giuliano, Marin, Bulgarian, and co up the climb here. Spratt leading, the rest of the riders following at his pace at the moment, and they've distanced a large number of that big group of riders that were together, but it's still a sizable pack here.
Yeah, it is indeed, and a real mix of colours, because those two skin suits still closely in contention. Ryan Giuliano in the polka dot, Nicholas Spratt in the green, Taylor Gonsolin in here as well. They come past Johnson Kutab, the Category 6 rider, and they continue to climb here. Really good, really strong riding. And you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen, we've got Category 4, Category 5 and Category 6 all starting to mesh together on the Jebel Yace. Very shortly, we're going to see more riders coming into that climb and a colourway on the mountain as the Category 1 race pack go underneath the polka dot banner. We're in with Syed Safrazadi. You can see in the pain cave the medals, the trophies behind him. Class rider out on the road, on the mountain bike and on esports. He's in the polka dot skin suit in the mix here, having taken the points across the aquarium climb. He's up and out of the saddle in real life and he's doing the business on the bike.
Well, we've talked about you having an inspiration wall. That's an inspirational medal trophy cabinet behind. And really interesting to see the picture by the side of his side. If you are going to be watching this back, because I'm sure you can't even see or hear straight at the moment going for it, let us know who's in the picture on your left-hand side, our right-hand side there. Always interested to know who inspires our riders. If you've got somebody that inspires you from Tadej Pogačar right the way through to riders in the past, maybe family members, do let us know. You can get in touch with me. It's at biking_Emma for Emma and me at Matt Fixer Pain. And it see tags up there. So Emma at biking_Emma, me at Matt Fixer Pain. Let me know who your inspiration is. Is it Jason Osborne, the rider we've got on our screens at the moment? Is it Michael Vink? Is it somebody in your family? I was riding with the Uber fan of Tadej Pogačar on one of my rides this week. Done quite a lot of riding.
Who's that?
This week. The Uber fan is a young man called Armand.
Yeah.
He is 6 and he has the full
He's 6.
Tadej, maybe 7, Tadej Pogačar kit. And he was wearing the World Champs jersey. He's got a yellow jersey and he's got a UAE jersey. He's an uber fan. I cannot tell you how much of a fan he is of Tadej Pogačar. And every time he goes out riding, we'll go out riding as a group, and he's absolutely inspired. And if you want to say to him, to inspire him to put in an effort, you just have to say, ride like Tadej, and he just accelerates off up. And actually, I think he took a win in a gravel race this week.
Well, all
on
I
Saturday.
can say is inspiring the next generation.
Yep.
It's absolutely part and parcel of what our riders do. And Jason Osborne, at the moment, the world champion in those rainbow bands, now driving clear of the Category 1 pack here on the Sunday Race Club. He's got Vujasin, Vink, Power and Pucker behind in the group, but it is indeed the world champion, Jason Osborne, now accelerating away from the Category 1 pack. Stefan van Elst now comes to the fore and starts to pick up the pace. Michael Knudsen straight in and marking him. Van Elst moving on. Knudsen now starting to climb, but Osborne moving away from the pack.
It's a big pack. That is a huge group of yellow jerseys making its way up here. It's
world-class racing at its best.
It is, and it shows you just how strong they are. No matter what's happened in the racing up till now, this group has not been split. Not really. We've hardly lost anybody off the back here, and they're putting the pressure on. So our last group of leaders or chasers on to the climb, I think they're going to stay clear of anybody behind them. Staying clear of absolutely everybody at the moment at 38.9k is Brian White on the right-hand side of your screen. He's 30 seconds clear of Dylan Kennett. Kennett, a regular winner at the moment. The rider behind, then it's Ricky Kittle, currently in 3rd place, 6 seconds behind Kennett. Then it's further 30 seconds to Tom Verham in 4th place, Villada, and then Mokhtari going to be heading just outside the top 5. 5th place for Villada, 6th for Mokhtari, 7th for Pulaka at the moment. Those positions can change. Still plenty of distance to go. As anybody who's ridden a long, big climb will know, you can lose a lot of ground in a very, very short
period of time.
I speak from experience in the last few weeks that you can be in with the leading group on your ride, coming into a climb at the front of it for the start of the climb and 3/4 of the way up, if not the very last bit, and on the last bit lose minutes. It happens.
Well, Simon Llewellyn at the moment, you can see they're just taking on board fluid as he continues to push. This is the Category 5 pack. Sorry, the Category 3 pack coming, wrong colour blue. And who was on the front of that group? Noel Beatty.
Yep. He's going to be reveling in this climb, but that's still a big group of Category 3 leaders as well. Simon Llewellyn taking those legs around here. He's got green and gold, which is the Australian colours. Maybe not the official green and gold, but he's got the exact colour match, I think, even if it's not an official Australian jersey. May well have one of those tucked out of the way.
Well, I think there's 10 riders here still in contention in Category 3. Beatty, Kansara, Ridley and Stenman at the top of the group, side by side. As they go past Kevin Horsley. Kevin Horsley is no slouch. They've just made him look like he's standing still.
Kevin Horsley, I've ridden against Kevin Horsley actually in some races on MyWhoosh. He's not a slouch.
No, he's not.
Ridiculously quick.
Well,
he's given me a pacing once or twice, that's for sure.
8 riders now going clear in Category 3, but we've got a rider now pushing on and pushing back up. So 9 riders still in this leading group, which is Kalman at the front, Stenman, Kansara, Ridley. Paradis is there, Sladek is there. No, Carroll could ride well today. This is going to be interesting. Henrik Oyer in the mix as well. This really is becoming the select group in Category 3. They're at 37.9 kilometres. Very shortly, 38 kilometres will be under their wheels and 7K to go.
At the top of the last climb, Stemmen took that polka dot skin suit from Sinclair, Kaplinski, Becker and Inglesy. They are the riders who got some points so far. Stemmen, the leader in that group. Now, Jason Osborne did not take the polka dot jersey as they came over the aquarium climb, but he does wear the World Championship jersey, World Champions jersey in the esports in the men's competition taken in Abu Dhabi in 2024. Don't forget, the championships will be going back to Abu Dhabi. And that's going to be in the middle of November, 15th November in 2025 this year. Do make sure you get out there. I have to say, it was one of the great weekends of the year. A great chance to meet lots of riders in person and a fantastic atmosphere as well. Not just amongst the riders, not amongst the staff and the officials, but amongst spectators as well. So it really is a great place to go. I cannot say enough. Go down, have a trip down to the UAE. If you're going to go down, go ride the Yebel that the riders are on now. That this group of riders are ticking their way up here. There's some big names, and to me, there's still plenty left in the tank when that group is all the way across the road.
Oh, yes. So the Category 2 pack has stayed together for so long, and Simon Walton now starting to drive on the climb, and they're at 35.3 kilometres. They're well and truly on the climb. They've been on the climb for 2K. They're still moving. It's still a big group. You can start to see the splits now on that top right-hand corner of your screen. 3 groups off the back of this leading group. It was 37 riders when we went into the base of the Yebel Yates. It's not 37 riders anymore. But Simon Walter, Mendakowitz, SS, Nair, Miller, Newkey, all in that group and riding really strong. It's still wide across the road.
Well, that attack from SS that got him that distance, that kept him over the top, going over the top of the first climb, the aquarium climb, means he's in with this group at the moment. He's minimised the distance he's got on this climb to stay with this group. He's there with the blue bandana and the blue Biomis X100 just with him, his teammate there. But remember, I don't think they're going to be in the team competition because they're missing Pablo Bobovic, and that means that they're not going to be in the running, but they will be racing for the overall victory. Meanwhile, the rest of this group are all looking at each other. There's no real emphasis at the moment, I think, on going clear. I think they're still wanting to wear riders down. Behind this group are riders in 1s and 2s. Meanwhile, Category 1, Vink and Osborne, the riders who have escaped, Paradis, Van Elst and Co are chasing, just taking a little bit of a look up the road. I'm not quite sure the time gap to our race leader in Category 1. Behind him, the chasing group are at 28 seconds. In front, I think that gap is well and truly done and dusted. The world champion left-hand side, right-hand side, the big group of leaders in Category 2.
Well, yeah, and Vilada just saying how tidy is the Category 6 rider as the Category 2 pack come past Paul Skirski climbing strongly on the top of your screen. Jakob Bjorklund is there as well. So is Simon Walter, and you can see the three different riders on your screen, the different climbing tactics. Skirski, oh, just solid concentration, mouth open, gulping in the air. Simon Walter, look at the cadence from Walter, 65 revs per minute. Just picked it up slightly there, but slow cadence up and out the saddle climbing. Skirski, you can see those knees tapping a little quicker.
Yeah, got that rhythm going, tapping out a rhythm. Bjorklund out the saddle, Walter out the saddle, very different styles. Now, does this mean that Skirski's got plenty left? It's all individual to our riders. A lot of it is to do with the amount of time that they spend. How dedicated are they? Are they 100% focused on esports? Are they good on climbing? Is their physiology such that they can get the power down, sat down? Is it such that they have to get out of the saddle? Or will come clear by the time we reach the top of this climb. Just going over the 40k mark and coming into those last 5k on category 4. This is the leading group at the moment. Spratt is still in here. The category 4 leaders at 40.5k. The category 5 leader and the leader on the road is still Brian White. That gets Kennett still holding at just over 30 seconds. Kittle at 55. Mohammed Bakhtari at 145, as is Tom Verham. They've also got the company Justin Roy and Botero all in that mix. So behind our leading three riders is a huge group of chasers in category 5 on the right of your screen. Left-hand side of your screen, category 4. This is just starting to, I think, to get a little bit more spicy here. The pace being tapped out by Taylor Gonsolin on the front. And there's one or two riders just getting a little bit slower to react. There are ones and twos down the side of the hillside here. Both the sprint leader and the climb leader in here. But realistically, it's the overall win that they want in category 4, as well as today, of course, the team win. 3 riders to count. Their fastest 3 riders in each team. Their times added together to give you that team time, and it can come down to seconds.
Right, it can do indeed. And Brian White continuing to maintain a really strong pace on that climb on the right-hand side of your screen in category 5. Category 4 at the 41-kilometre marker. They are 700 metres behind Brian White. They're mixing up with category 6 and category 5 riders at the moment, but I am counting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 category 4 riders still in this race with 4 kilometres to go. So 11 riders still in that category 4 race. 1 rider in category 5 out front. Category 3 is Niall Batty. He's still got company, but he's continuing to try and stretch that group. So category 3 still battling it out on the Yebel Yace. Batty really trying to stamp his mark, but he's still got company and he's not able to break that group. Simon Walter is the rider we are in with in category 2, and that group are climbing strongly as well. 37 riders at the bottom of the climb. It's definitely not 37 riders in category 2 anymore. We'll be with them very shortly. But Adam Stenman and Niall Batty now trying to go clear of that category 3 group on the left-hand side of your screen. Just a couple of seconds clear at the moment because Lewis Ridley, Pablo Paredes are desperately trying to hang on to those wheels as they go past Petra Truba, the rider in the polka dot skin suit for category 6. The category 3 group are now starting to look at the back wheels of the category 4 chasing group as we drop in with Michael Vink. The wind is blowing, the fan is blowing to cool him down in his pain cave. He's on the back of Kaminsky's wheel at the moment. He's going to need to dig now and not get dropped off the back of the group. The rider who was so instrumental out of the start pen for his team, attack after attack after attack, stretching the group all the way through to the aquarium climb at 24 kilometres, where the group caught him and brought him back. Osborne, his teammate, the world champion, has gone up the road. This is the Category 1 group on the road, but they are now starting to get stretched. Jason Osborne at 38 kilometres, 38.1 is just ticked. He's 300 metres clear of the chase group, and it's Michael Knudsen, Stefan Van Elst, Hayden Pucker, Said Safrazadi and Lina Vu Yassin, who are leading the charge from the chase.
Can't imagine Knudsen's going to chase him down. Can't imagine that's going to be the case. We will have to see if that's going to happen. Let's keep our eyes. We're starting to see movement here. So watching the movement here in this group, Said Safrazadi starting to make sure he is in position. Van Elst right up in the mix here. Quick reminder of that team of Jason Osborne. It's Osborne, Knudsen, Vink and Safrazadi. The boss moves. Only squad. Absolutely critical. Will they be able to boss it to the top as Ivan Nuki comes to the fore here in Category 2? Nuki, part of the Abu Dhabi Cycling Club, racing here today in Category 2. And is Ivan Nuki now going to be able to make this his? He races for the Cycling District here on MyWhoosh today in the final. I'll tell you something, the Cycling District still have plenty of riders in the mix. Yuki will be doing his part, I'm sure, but this is now provoking a response, and it looks like Forza is the man who's answering the move by Nuki, has gone into the lead. They come round this hairpin turn. Is this going to be what breaks the group? Is this going to shed riders? Will this be decisive?
Well, they know they cannot let Nuki go. Nuki has closed gaps down on climbs before in the finals because he is such a strong climber, and these types of long climbs like the Yebel Yace really suit Ivan Nuki. Ross Fawcett doing a sterling job for his team, as he's been doing since they came out of the start pen today. They're continuing to work, continuing to climb, but take a look at that. Out from the Category 2 pack comes Jason Osborne. He's the leader in the Category 1 race, and take a look at that. Maciej Mendakowicz is trying to get on the world champion's wheel.
Well, why wouldn't you at the moment? You've got a chance. It's still too big a group to take into any kind of race finish whatsoever. No matter how good you are, that's just too much of a gamble. Break the group, use whatever you can to do so. And at the moment, they're trying to break it by going with the world champion. I was going to see if that is going to stick. Meanwhile, just going to drop into Category 4 because they are in all shades of pain here as they make their way up towards the front of the Category 5 chasers. They are, and the Category 6 leaders, but they're not going to pull back away. I'm just taking a little bit of a look. I think Thomas Dvorak may well be our Category 6 leader at the moment because he's with the Category 5 chasers, and they are chasing our leader who's on the right-hand side of your screen. So Category 4 catches the Category 6 leader, Dvorak. Then we're going to see them on the chase. They're chasing Brian White, who still has over 1.5 kilometres to go or so.
It does indeed. Also,
ish, kind of, sort of.
Well, Travis Barrett, part and parcel of this Category 4 pack. Hernandez is there as well. The riders are really starting to move through as they come up to the Category 5 pack. Nick Squillari marking the moves here. So Hernandez, Squillari, Barrett. Travis Barrett's been putting in some really strong rides recently. It's been great to see his performance here on the Sunday Race Club. But there is now one big mix of riders that we are looking at the moment. Category 4, Category 5 and Category 6. But Brian White is still at the head of this race. He's still got a gap to Dylan Kennett. But this pack are coming. Category 4, will they reach the finish line before Brian White? Will Brian White get to that finish line first? Can Nick Squillari take the win in Category 4? So many questions to be answered in the next couple of kilometers. But this race is alive at the moment. Barrett, Hernandez, Pino, Squillari, they are fighting in this pack. Kiddle Well, Ricky Kittle is 40 seconds up the road. Now, I'll tell you something, this group could bring other Category 5 riders back to the top 3.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be Ricky Kittle right this moment in time, would you? That group is coming. The Category 5 riders who are managing to hold the Category 4 are coming with them. And at the moment, Travis Barrett is tapping this out. He's ridden to the 2 qualifying rides that got him in to the finals so far. He's taken a 2nd place last week in Category 4. Will he be able to go over the top? Will he be able to take a win this time around? It'll be very interesting to see. It'll be a great ride by him. 2 podiums in 3 participations in the Sunday race, one of which will be a final, but that is a big, big ask. The leader on the left-hand side, part of the leading group on the left-hand side, should I say, Nick Scolari. On the right-hand side, the leader, Brian White, in action at the moment. Brian White out of the saddling avatar form, tapping out that rhythm in real life as he makes his way up here. He's clear of Kennett by 42 seconds, Kittle by 1 minute 11, and he is clear of Squilari, Spratt and Co by nearly 2 minutes. Surely this is going to be his. He's at 44.4k. He's got another, less than 100 meters to go. It wasn't bad maths last time. My sentence was too long and the distance changed.
Well, he's about
Get my
to
excuses
see.
in.
He's about to see the polka dot banner. That is the top of the Yebel Yace segment. It's not the top of the climb today because there's 500 meters still to go to the UCI banner, to the finish line today. Now, Brian White, part and parcel of the Level Avengers. They were the Category 5 team who took the win in the team competition in March, looking like he's leading the charge for them to do it again. Justin Roy, Nathan Peterson, Ola Warren and Scott Francis, the other members of the squad, they are going to be cheering Brian White to the finish line today. He's got 400 meters to go. He's got the corner here before he sees the finish banner today. Dylan Kennett at 45 seconds. Ricky Kittle at 1:25. I'm going to put my teeth back in until we get to the finish.
So Brian White leading this out in Category 5. Category 4, Bulgarian, Hernandez, Spratt, Barrett. There's nothing really to choose between Barrett, Spratt and Hernandez. Bulgarian, though, has started to pull clear in Category 4, and that is going to make a difference here. We're at 44.8k now for Brian White. He's looking good as he comes around this turn. Strong riding by the rider from the United States of America.
He is indeed, as Brian White comes around the corner, looks up, sees the UCI banner. He's taken 6 wins on the Sunday Race Club. This is going to be his 2nd win in Category 5. Brian White comes up and through across the line on the Yebel Yace to take the win today in Category 5 for the April final. So White comes over the line, but Dylan Kennett is absolutely leading the charge behind for 2nd place. Bulgarin in Category 4 is chasing him. He's at the head of that Category 4 race. Barrett, Spratt, Hernandez are behind. He's gone up and over the top of Ricky Kittle, who's currently lying in 3rd position in that Category 5 race. Barrett now starting to pick up the pace. You can see the pack behind, but Bulgarin is slowly extending his lead. Spratt now starts to come up. He's in that green skin suit. He's won the sprint competition here in Category 4. He's 8 seconds back. What can he do? There's 200 meters left to go until Bulgarin crosses the line. Is he going to take the win today in Category 4? Can Spratt, Hernandez, Barrett, Squilari do anything about this? I don't think they can, because Bulgarin is going to come round the corner. He's going to see the banner. Bulgarin, the rider from On the Rivet Racing, is going to come underneath the banner for the win in Category 4 today. Through he comes. Esteban Bulgarin takes the win in Category 4. The charge is on behind because Travis Barrett is leading out Hernandez and Spratt. Oh, that was so close in the fight for 2nd place. Barrett from Spratt. No, Barrett from Hernandez from Spratt.
So they are the riders through the line at the moment. Great riding. That 1, 2, 3 in category 5. Brown White taking the win from Dylan Kennett in second place. Ricky Kittle taking away a third place there. 3 different riders from 3 different teams. Level Avengers with White in 1. The BMC Get Racing with Dylan Kennett in 2. And BMC Rule 5 with Kittle in 3. And still plenty more riders on the way in to the finish. On your screens at the moment, right-hand side of your screen is Thomas Dvorak. Dvorak, the leading rider in Category 6. He is on his way up this climb.
He is indeed, and Adam Stenman and Pablo Paredes in Category 3 are hot on his heels, just 8 seconds back. They are on the left-hand side of your screen on the charge to the finish. Adam Stenman in that polka dot skin suit in Category 3. Pablo Paredes in the dark blue jersey behind. They're about to catch Thomas Dvorak in the polka dot skin suit in Category 6. He's leading that Category 6 race. I think he's going to go underneath the banner first, so we're going to see the Category 6 rider Thomas Dvorak go underneath the banner first. He's had a first and a fourth already this month. Tops it off with a win in the final as Dvorak and Paredes come through for Category 3 for the win and second place. It was indeed Paredes who took that from Stenman right on the line, 0.7 of a second. That is fast and hard racing.
And lots of different riders from different teams now coming in and through. That's going to make a big difference. At the moment, no team coming through and putting 3 riders in and over the line to get a team time. In fact, we have got our first team awarded. It's the Gold Grabbers in Category 3. They're going to take away the win with Paredes, Lopez and Kalman in first, third and sixth place in Category 3. So there's team results starting to come in live on the MyWhoosh.com website. Go to results, go to the Sunday Race Club, to the men's race, which is currently live. If you're watching this back, well, you can see all of those results, but that's a bit like reading the last page of a book before you've read the rest of it.
Oh, I do that regularly.
I know. So let's take a look down at the racing. One man who needs no story writing for him. He's more than capable of writing a legendary story himself. Jason Osborne in the lead, the man who has the course record on this climb at the moment, leading out behind him. Interesting to see Michael Vink, the man who was continually attacking, who was pulled back as they came onto the climb, has now decided he better get a move on once again. Because there is the team at stake, and that is going to be absolutely key. So at the moment, you have your elite leader, Jason Osborne, on the right-hand side of your screen. They are clear as we drop in with Category 2 at the moment. Just taking a look where they are at the moment out on course. Mr. X100 is on the climb, doing what Mr. X100 does best, sitting at a rhythm, sitting at a pace, and at the moment, I think he's got that race lead.
Well, can I just say, the Category 1 pack that have just gone past X100, Van Els Tugels, Pucker Safrazadi, Vu Yassin. It is a class group being led by Michael Knudsen of that Boss Moves Only squad. Jason Osborne, Michael Vink, Knudsen and Safrazadi, part and parcel of the Boss Moves Only squad. They have got to be on for that team win. It's going to be so close today. But Jason Osborne comes through at 44.1 kilometres. He's leading the race. There's no Category 1 rider in that back shot. That's exactly what he would want today. A Truba and Milostic are the riders he's just gone past from Category 6. Xavier Maillard is the Category 5 rider. He goes past a number of others as he continues his climb towards the finish line today.
So Category 2 and Category 1 winners on their way up to the line. Who's it going to be? Well, it's looking pretty secure for Osborne in Category 1. Category 2, a little bit more open to debate, dependent on how it plays out as our leader in Category 1 comes up to that polka dot arch that signifies the end of the climb. He's going to get that climb time up here. We're going to see what time he does. He's the last of our category riders to get awarded the time through the Yebel Yace climb section. So he goes in, up and through. Perhaps I'll tell you something. He is incredibly quick at the moment, and he shows no sign of slowing. 6.8 watts per kilo, 6.7, 6.9. He is just sitting at such a pace.
Well, the Boss Moves Only squad have bossed this race from the start. They came out of the start pen. Vink attacked on numerous occasions. Osborne marked the group to keep them back. We saw Safra Zadie and we've seen Knudsen just riding strongly in the pack, watching the other teams. They are in the main group at the moment. The two teammates, Jason Osborne, the world champion, on the front in the polka dot skin suit at the moment, having set the fastest time. That is the UCI finish line. The world champion, Jason Osborne, took the win here in January on the Yebel Yace. He's going to take the win here in April as well. Number one for the world champion today. Osborne takes the win on the April Sunday Race Club. So Jason Osborne taking the win today on the Sunday Race Club April finale. His teammate Michael Vink is 400 metres, 300 metres back, but the pack are coming. They are 8 seconds back, and it's Van Elst, Knudsen, Safra Zadie and Tugels. They are part and parcel of the chasing group. Vink could see them if he turned and looked over his shoulder at the moment. They are that close. They are charging up the final 250 metres now. He's got to come round the final corner before he sees the finish line. The pack are coming, but Knudsen is trying to manage the group. I think Vink is going to stay clear. Van Elst is not going to reach him in the amount of road they have left, but Michael Vink is going to come through in second place for the Boss Moves Only squad. The battle is on for third. Vink comes underneath the banner. Tugels and Van Elst. Knudsen are fighting. It's Tugels takes third. Wow, what a move across that line. So Michael Vink takes second place today. Tugels takes third. Van Elst takes fourth. Pucker coming through for a strong ride. Michael Knudsen already over the line. Side Safra Zadie gets taken on the line by Hayden Pucker. Fabulous riding in Category 1. Matt, have you got those results?
I've got some of the results as we see coming in to the line. Lionel Vujasin comes in and over the line. We're just taking a run back to Category 2, though, because Stuart Miller comes in and over the line there. And I think that is going to be Miller taking away the Category 2 win as he goes in and over the line. That sprinting towards the end there as he came through. Just waiting for that to confirm. But I think it's Miller from Ritter, from Fawcett, Nair, Mr. X100. They are the top riders in Category 2 as they come in and through.
Okay, let me give you the rundown of the top 10 in Category 1. Osborne takes the win on the Sunday Race Club April final. 1 hour, 9 minutes, 55 seconds. I can tell you that is the fastest time this year on this course. 56 seconds ahead of Michael Vink. Leonard Tugels comes through for third place. Stefan Van Elst comes through for fourth. Michael Knudsen slotting into fifth. Hayden Pucker out sprinting Side Safra Zadie on the line for sixth. Side Safra Zadie takes that seventh spot. Vujasin in eighth. Kaminsky in ninth. And Pedersen taking 10th spot today in that Category 1 race.
And the team result, well, it is the Boss Moves Only squad who take the win in Category 1. 3 minutes, 19 seconds ahead of the Farm Watts squad. Alpha Jaw take third place, only 7 seconds down on Farm Watts. Super close. In the rest of the categories, Category 2, the Hitmen taking the win in the team competition. Gold Grabbers taking the team win in Category 3. On the Rivet Racing taking the team win in Category 4. Level Avengers taking the team win in Category 5. And BMC Startup taking the team win in Category 6.
Well, can I just say congratulations to the Farm Watts squad taking second place today in that team competition, because that is the first time the Farm Watts squad have done the business and finished in the top 2 teams on the Sunday Race Club final.
Congratulations to them and all of our prize winners. All of the results are on the MyWhoosh website. That's mywhoosh.com. You can catch up with me on Instagram. It's at Matt Fixpay. You can catch up with Emma at biking_Emma. Emma, what's the week got in store for you? What's May got in store for you that's coming up?
Oh, good question. I am on live coaching on Monday. A bit of a leg spin, bit of cadence work, bit of recovery. Should anybody from the Sunday Race Club want to join me? And then the rest of the month, well, I'm hoping the end of April, its sun's going to shine. I'm going to get out on my bike, and May's going to be much of the same. What about you?
I'm looking forward to a couple of things. I'm looking forward to being back next week, as because it is a
May.
memorable day. Not only is it May, it is Star Wars Day. It is May the 4th.
Be with you.
Indeed. Next Sunday, your game will be to listen to see how many of those dodgy puns we can put in. I'm also looking forward to May the 12th. Because that is when there is a big announcement coming on MyWhoosh. Make sure you follow MyWhoosh on social media. It's at MyWhoosh on Instagram, on Facebook, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube. That announcement, May the 12th. And I'm looking forward to not getting dropped on the group ride because I'm back out with the Fast Gang on Wednesday. And I'm hoping I can stay on the back of the group over the top of the biggest climb instead of being at the back of the group and off the back of the group over the biggest climb. But we will see. Maybe more of that next week. I hope you've enjoyed the racing if you've been watching. Thank you very much for joining us. A big thank you to the team behind the scenes. And, of course, to all of our riders for keeping us entertained. A massive thank you to my co-host, Emma Martin. An absolute pleasure to work with, as always, even if I managed to survive a whole show without getting anything thrown at me. Make sure you join us for May. From Emma, from myself, Matt Payne, and from all of the team, stay safe. We'll see you again next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.